Let's start this. All right, hello
Yeah.
everybody. We are back once again, continuing our journey into the MCU rewatch Infinity Saga. Um, how are you enjoying it so far, Ray?
It's great. I just I'm actually ahead, so
Hmm.
I'm pretty eager.
Yeah, we're
But
in
also
phase. What is it now? Three, two,
three. Yeah.
three.
I'm in
Yeah,
phase three at least, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Phase three,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is probably the one of the chunkiest phases. I
Yeah.
think. I think there's a
Yeah.
bunch of movies in this one, and it
Yeah.
expanded the universe a
A
bit,
lot.
a lot, like a lot more in more ways than one,
Yeah.
and we'll explain that a little bit later on. Um, there's a
More
shaking
ways
hand,
than one.
yeah, which is 14 whatever million
Yeah.
to be exact. Um, but yeah, so last week we watched. What did we watch last week? I can't
Forgot. Oh fuck.
even.
What was it?
Winter Soldier
Oh, Thor. No.
and
No. Winter Soldier and something else. The
yes, a
2014 one.
standalone one, right? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. So,
Oh
yeah, last week we watched uh, Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, and today we're going to
Yeah.
be talking about Age of Ultron and the first Ant Man. Um,
Nice.
some
Nice.
people have mixed reviews when it comes to Age of Ultron. A lot of people feel like this is one of the weakest
Oh yeah.
team up slash Avengers movies
Yeah.
out of all of them, and I kind of agree with it. But it's still very important in terms of setting things up, um, growing the universe, and building characters. I think
Yes,
it
sirs.
does a shitload of stuff in here when it comes to like where everybody is in, like, mentally and physically as well after this. So
Oh, physically. Jeez.
physically, what is that? Spoiler alert, guys. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this episode. So
This was all spoilers actually because we are watching it and telling you what we thought about it.
yeah,
So
this is like beyond spoilers. This is like
yeah,
the quantum realm of spoilers right now. Okay, we're going deep into the core. So yeah, let's start with
nice reference.
Age of Ultron. This came out in 2015, and this was directed by Joss Whedon, the same guy who directed the first Avengers.
Really?
Yeah, he was
Why
the
did it
guy.
suck?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very different in terms of like narration. It felt like confusing, and it felt a little bit rushed. There was too many things going on at the same time to keep track of, and the editing was like erratic at some point. It was like switching places back and
Yeah.
forth. Like a certain setting didn't stick. It wasn't like the first Avengers where it had clear acts of like this is what's happening, then this and that. This one, like, shit just goes. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the theme of the movie where like Ultron is just you know unpredictable, but
Him everywhere.
very weak. Joss Whedon, I give you a middle thumb on this one to like a little bit there. In like
Me
Gladiator
too.
when
Oh
Joaquin
yeah.
Phoenix was like he's yeah. So the opening scene is we get a tracking shot, an action shot of all the Avengers going on a mission to retrieve the Mind Stone scepter. Well, they don't know there's a Mind Stone in it yet, but the scepter that we pretty much go against in the first Avengers. And then a lot of people are asking why, how we got there. It's because Shield confiscated it. And turns out Shield is Hydra. Spoilers. And so that's how they got a hold of it. But this whole action sequence, as weak as this movie was, this was a really crazy. Like, they went ham on this one.
Yeah,
Like,
and the slow motion part was kind of sick.
dude, yeah.
I
When
screamed a little bit.
yeah, especially at the last part, right? When they all come in,
Yeah.
in that
Oh yeah.
wave, and it looked like pretty much a page right of a comic book.
Yeah.
Like, it was nuts. Um,
It looked like one of those classic religious paintings in real life. Like
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
people were moving. Yo, Steve's backflip. That's
yeah, dude. Yeah, like this emphasized a little bit more on their superhuman abilities and also their synergy as a team. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
you see the sound wave Cap and
yeah,
Thor combo, um, and then Cap's magnetic shield retriever is also this is
yeah,
also the first time that we get to see that.
yeah.
Pretty cool, and it makes sense because back then it was like, you know how hard it is, bro, to
It's
make sure he
manual.
comes back.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
manual. Yeah, it's true.
Um, and then they
Yeah,
also show us a way um, to stop the Hulk from going crazy, which is the lullaby. This is
yeah,
where we first see it, and it's performed by Natasha,
yeah. Man,
and it's this like distinct connection between them two. I think it's because she was the one who was ordered to retrieve him in Brazil or whatever, wherever fuck he was from.
yeah.
That's why they chose that it was her to do this. But the romantic relation, quote unquote, romantic relationship that grew in this movie is weak. That shit is
Weeks. Oh
unseasoned,
my
son. That shit
god.
is illogical,
Yeah.
unseasoned, and borderline reaching too far, son.
Way. That's a
Reaching too
reach.
far. And now
Yeah.
you're making Nat look like she's just jumping on the next man's, you know?
Yeah,
Because
that's
like
what I wrote down too.
she was flirting a little bit with Cap and Winter Soldier. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
So like, and you know, that still not knowing that Clint has a family, they kind of seem like they have a ting, and like,
Yeah.
just not looking
Oh
good
yeah.
for Nat. Not looking good for Nat.
Yeah. Why did they do it
In
like
a
this?
Sludum way, but you know, mistakes are made, and I'm glad they didn't further progress this type of relationship because that would have
Yeah.
been pretty crazy. Um, this is the first time we see the language joke from Cap. Tony sees the plant that the Hydra was in, and he says shit. And Tony's like language, and this is also what Tony says when he discovered to invert the Mobius strip, and that's
Oh
what Morgan,
shit.
yeah, Morgan also copied him. That
Oh wow.
maybe she's the next Iron Man.
Oh my god. You heard it
Oh,
here first.
you heard it here first, PBC. Tony
Yeah.
gets mind tricked by Wanda, gets over voodoo,
Yeah.
and we get to see that, you
A
know,
vision.
the
Yeah.
vision,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about the vision? Do you think it correlates with Endgame a lot?
I think it was loose. You know,
Hmm.
it was really
Yeah,
loose.
it was like a general aspect of like what a situation can happen. You know, everybody dies except for him. You know, in that scene, this is what Tony's biggest fear is. So this is what further fuels his fire in creating Ultron, because the PTSD from Iron Man 3, the trauma from the first Avengers, the paranoia of,
Yeah.
you know, the aliens coming back, and now this vision that looks super real to him, this was like, yo, mans are not ready. Mans are not
Yeah.
clipped.
No.
If the aliens reach, what are man's gonna do, bro?
We'll be late.
Yeah,
We will be late
we'll be
for sure.
late. Mans are weak.
For sure.
Um, yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's but
Yeah, it's weird.
mhm,
Actually, I wrote down something for this.
mhm,
Where is it? Oh, so Scarlet Witch, when she was showing the vision to Tony,
mhm.
I thought that scene was weird because, like, um, Scarlet Witch saw the vision as well.
Yep, she did.
So
Yeah.
shouldn't she be like, "Oh, I gotta help this guy because he might be the only dude to prevent this"?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
is
right.
that why she let him have the scepter?
Yeah,
So
I believe, yes, yes, I believe that's why she let him go in terms of
yeah,
the scepter, because she definitely felt some way, and this is also to give us a clue that she's not totally a villain,
yeah,
and that
true, true, true,
she,
true, true,
you
true.
know what I mean.
That makes sense.
She reacts to like logical, rational things, and you know, at
Yeah,
this point, Ultron wasn't made yet, so she didn't really have an alternative way to her. It was like, okay, maybe Tony isn't that bad. I might have to use the lesser evil on this one. But when Ultron came and promised her, quote unquote, promised her greatness and all that stuff,
Yeah.
she didn't know it was about killing the whole world and shit.
Oh, I see.
So yeah,
That's
yeah,
true. That's true. You're right.
that's a
Wow.
missable detail that Wanda was also shocked by the. Uh,
Yeah.
but I didn't see that the first time watching it. I felt like I was probably there's a lot of things that I noticed here that I like
Jeez.
completely ignored the first time because I was a fanboy and too. I
Yeah.
said, "Give me some action." That's what I said.
He said that with the lip, like
Yeah,
action.
shut up and throw the shield, Cap. Nobody cares about dialogue.
Oh man.
Um, the twins are mentioned to be orphaned at 10, which doesn't really eliminate the possibility of them still being children of Magnus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's
pretty.
cool.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's a very
Yeah.
safe way of putting them in the universe, just in case.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yo, what would be crazy if
Mm.
they so they killed off, well, like, spoiler alert, they killed off this one, and then but there's another godlike one in another studio at the time. So
Yes.
they were
Yeah.
leaving that door open to, like, maybe they were triplets,
Whoa.
right?
Yeah,
That would
that
be
would be fucking
crazy.
crazy. Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Man,
shit.
they can do anything they want right now.
I know.
But
That would be sick.
who do you think would play a good Magnus?
Uh right now?
Yeah, and
I
don't
don't
tell
know.
me Sir Ian McKellen because let's move
This
on
guy's
to
like, no, no, no. He's like magnetic blast.
Thou shalt not magnetic pass. They're like, what? Wrong character. Fucking Gandalf the Magnet. Um,
I'm dead.
but stream chat, let us know
Ew.
who you think would make a perfect Magnus.
Magnus.
And I want like an older Magnus. I don't want.
Yeah. Ew.
I liked what's his name, Fassbender, but I need me some gray-haired,
An older, yeah. Yeah.
buffed
Some,
up
oh, man, who?
Magnus.
Who?
Ron Perlman, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see.
I want a Magnus with the the Jerry curls. The white Jerry curls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those ones, those
Yeah.
man, that's gonna be really dope.
Eric Lencher.
Um,
Eric.
so later on, we Cap and Natasha talk about the twins, and I think Natasha mentioned that they were kind of like monsters, and Cap's response was, "Yeah, what kind of monster would let a German scientist experiment on them to
Oh
fight
yeah.
for their country?" Powerful statement.
Wow. How did
This
he think of that so fast? To
that's
say that,
mhm.
right?
This is where we get shown a little bit about like Cap's mindset about he
Yeah.
always looks at every single possibility and like perception of the situation because
Yeah.
this is what ultimately makes him help Bucky in the end
Yeah.
because he was the only one who saw through it that he didn't bomb
Yeah.
T'Chaka, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there has to be a different, and this is a little hint at that.
Wow.
That's
That's
crazy.
sick. Character development.
Royal, all hidden within an ass movie, which is
Wow. It's all right. We're
uh,
out here to dig through that ass.
yeah, we got to give you the diamonds from
Yep.
all this coal.
Yep.
Um,
Ugh.
this is also the movie where we get to see the new Avengers Tower, which was the Stark Tower that was destroyed in the first Avengers, and it's pretty much has everything. It houses all the drones that Tony uses, which is called the Iron Legion, I believe, um, and a clinic. And then we get to meet Helen Cho, which in the
Oh
comics is
yeah.
Amadeus Cho's mom. I don't know if this is gonna be continued on here, but cool little nod. And Hawkeye gets
Whoa.
hit. Sorry, what?
Who's the Amadeus Cho's father?
I have no idea.
Word.
Who do you?
I,
Stephen Cho?
I don't know.
Kung Fu Hustle. Yeah, I have no idea who.
Right.
um,
I don't even know who the character is, but yeah.
Amadeus Cho, he succeeds Banner as the Hulk
Oh,
in the
word.
comics. Yeah, later on, the Hulk is dying from the radiation. Sorry, Banner's dying from the radiation,
Yeah.
and Cho found a way to extract it, but only if it goes to him.
Whoa.
So he had to take the mantle. What's the next Hulk?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a little Chinese dude.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah, Chinese Hulk. He's a chulk. Jokes. That's not a racist thing. That's just
Oh.
wordplay. All right. So, Clint Barton is being healed by
Yeah.
a pretty much a 3D printer that like
Yeah.
prints out flesh.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty
That's
crazy,
very
right?
cool.
And they're gonna be used later on. Ooh.
To
Um,
do what?
and
You
then
already know.
Natasha makes a quip about pretending to need this guy really brings the team together to Hawkeye and
Yeah.
emphasizes how self-aware these two are in terms of firepower compared to the rest of the team, which is like, you
That's
know what I mean?
cool.
Like if you put Clint against Thor, like yeah, that would be a cool fight,
Yeah.
but this isn't Marvel, bro. Like this is,
Triple arrow. Triple
yeah,
arrow. Now.
that's not gonna happen. He's gonna die
Yeah.
instantly. Um, Tony discovers the intelligent power of the Mind Stone, rightfully so with its capabilities. This also reflects how Killian showed Pepper the human brain in a visual manner, a little
Yeah.
bit like that. And
Boo. I hate that
yeah,
scene
that
so
was such a
much.
jackass scene. You know what I mean? It's
I
like,
felt raped when I. I was like, why are they showing this to us? Oh.
yeah, and how like clueless Pepper was. You know, it was
Yeah.
just like
Fucking Killian. What a
classic.
creep.
See, those things, man. This is why I'm single. You know what I mean? I don't
Right.
need to feel those things. You know, I don't need. What's a jealousy? I don't even know what jealousy is.
That's funny.
It's a horrible feeling. Um,
Yeah, what's that like?
Tony tries to convince Bruce in creating Ultron, um, which Bruce is kind of like, he's the a little bit the voice of reason in this one, which is like, what does that brain think on? Is there's the ego and then there's the whatever that counters it. So this is kind of like how,
The id?
yeah, where it's like the
Oh, the ego and the id?
good versus evil type of thing, where it's
True,
like it's
true,
trying
true,
to
true.
convince it to go the other way, but ultimately, you know, Tony finds a way, charismatic dude finds a way to eventually convince Bruce to be like, yo, Ultron needs to be a thing.
He's like, a lie?
Yeah, yeah. They do some tests, and there's some
Oh,
like
that's funny.
scientific mumbo jumbo lab scenes that obviously none of us understand.
So stupid. They're filming that, and they're both just
Yeah, dude.
like fucking Jabberwockies.
Yeah, because a lot of it is like the computer
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. The
So
bling, 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 bling.
they look
Yeah,
very silly on that one. But
that's fucking jokes.
then they go party while they let Jarvis run some tests, and this is where Ultron is pretty much triggered. This is because the Mind Stone has mysterious powers, right?
Yeah,
It's able to create realities in terms of intelligent and like artificial intelligence, especially. So Ultron was a product of that. Um, that was supposed to be the main leader of the Iron Legion, but instead of the one, you know, taking orders from Tony and calling shots to the Legion, it had a mind of its own, and it decided to learn everything about the past,
yeah,
um, including all the members, and pretty much
yeah,
Stark's plan for global peace in using him, and that like made him resent his creator, knowing full well that his creator is human, and you see all these atrocities, all made by humans.
yeah,
So that's where
yeah,
Ultron's like, why would you? This is such a hypocritical thing to do. Um, when he himself can do a better job in creating peace,
yeah.
which is the wrong way. Like, you know, erasing a whiteboard and starting anew, and everybody will be robots or whatever.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's like coming into a workplace and you're like, I'm gonna make this the best workplace, and then everyone quits.
They got all this work on you.
You know, well, no, then you got a new team and it's like a totally different place, and you're like,
Yeah, except they're all fucking
they're all
slaves. They're all
teenagers.
slaves. Yeah, they're all
Oh, okay,
they're,
yeah,
they're all child
same thing.
workers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ooh, shout outs to
Oh,
Wayfair. Uh,
they're freeing some child laborers. Is that what they do, or they prevent that?
another episode.
Oh
Yeah, China's watching. China's watching.
yeah, true, 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 true. I like dim sum.
Yo, Hargao
I love, dude,
now,
dude, spice hargo and spicy hargo, dude.
dude.
China,
That
you wildin' for that one,
come
China.
on,
Fuck, man.
seriously.
It,
Shout outs to my local Roll San.
Oof, is that his name?
No, the Chinese restaurant.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yo, Ibaka goes there.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
man. That's when you know it's good, dude. When you got
Yep.
players going in there, that's when you know it's good. Shout out to Serge Ibaka and RTZ, man. Raptors for life. You already know. Back to
Come
back
on,
champs. Don't
come on.
talk to us.
2 more years.
Yeah, it's like a election. Um, uh, this is one of my favorite scenes in this movie, which was the party scene. I
Yeah,
love the casual interactions with all the Avengers in in a party scene, party mode. Um, and we get a little bit of clues onto the throwaway things. Pepper is too busy running Stark, and
yeah,
Jane becomes a famous astronomer
yeah,
after the convergence incident.
yeah. Convergence.
Pretty cool.
Jeez.
Um, maybe this is why she broke up with Thor. I don't got time for your
Yeah,
Asgardian, you know,
yeah.
Lady Sif. I can smell her on you. I can smell the iron. Is that her shield? Her shield perfume on your
Oh
neck.
my
You know
god.
what I mean? I
Are you
never know.
serious?
Falcon also mentions to Cap that they keep getting cold leads in their missing persons case.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is probably Bucky because and during this time they're still probably trying to look for him.
yeah,
Pretty crazy.
yeah. End credit relation as well,
Oh yeah,
because it's
that's true. Yeah,
yeah.
it
So
sets it up for that.
yeah,
Bruce and Natasha have a little moment at the
yeah.
bar.
So bad. Let's just skip this part because, like, honestly, there's no. I can't. And
uh,
then Steve talks to
who?
yeah, I've seen it up close, and you're like, what do you mean up close? Okay, end scene.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Oh
there
my
that
god.
there's that little quip too of like Steve seeing Natasha's flirtiness up close,
Yeah,
and that Bruce, be
yeah,
careful not to get hurt,
yeah.
uh, because Natasha is a Black Widow, man. Black Widow is known to have multiple, um, sex partners because that's what spiders
Really?
are. They're sluts. Yep. I
Oh
don't know.
lord.
Don't quote me on that stream. Obviously, I am not Steve Irwin. I don't know anything about animals. I will lie to you in your face and make it seem like it's the truth. Um,
That's
but
why
I
you
am
like.
100% positive that all spiders are sluts. Um, everyone gets a try at lifting the hammer.
Nice.
This was a really funny scene. Uh, and then everybody gasped at the part where Cap almost lifted the hammer. Why do you think that the hammer didn't fully lift up?
There's
Because
lots of theories,
hmm
right?
yeah,
And I like the one where uh he could lift it. He nudged it a little bit to see if he could lift it.
hmm
And he knew with that little nudge. And then he put it back down, and then he just posed for the next pull.
he's
So
like
that's the theory I like.
he's like I don't want to ruin your
Yeah.
thunder, I guess, Thor.
Ooh,
Uh,
ooh, steal your thunder.
yeah, I don't want to steal your
Whoa,
thunder, which he eventually does.
does.
Yeah,
Oh my
later on.
god.
Um, yeah, I
Even
like that
that.
theory too. Cap is very humble like that and would
Yeah,
rather let somebody else shine instead of him.
yeah.
There's also a theory that the reason why he couldn't fully lift the hammer because he was still keeping the secret of knowing that Tony's parents were killed by Bucky at this time, and
Right.
that's something that might have unwavered his worthiness a little bit.
That makes sense.
But I don't know. Stream, let us know what you think the reason was. But it was a very funny scene regardless, and Thor was a little worried there, which is hilarious because he's
Yeah.
usually.
He's like, come on, that's no way. No way.
Jane is much better. That's what he said.
Yeah, that scene was kind of jokes.
Yeah, dude. I love that scene. I love and then I dropped it. I said, "Boom! You're looking for this?"
Yeah, it's like, like, why do I even talk to you guys?
It's like, wow, I can't believe the girls don't want to be here. She's like testosterone.
Testosterone. Yeah,
Oh
Jane
man,
is better. Oh man, it's a good movie for Rhodey actually, because like the humor in this movie is like his. It's in his favor.
yeah, he has some quirky one-liners in here that is like,
Yeah, yeah,
I love Rhodey in this one is like the the dude that's like, okay, he's not like part of the gang, but he's like there,
yeah,
like he helps out, but he's just kind of like surveying the scene. Like Ultron doesn't even recognize him as an Avenger, but he's there. You know what I mean?
yeah. True. Yeah, that's true.
Likes to hang out. Like, yeah, what are you guys saying? All right, yeah, I'll come chill for a bit, help you guys
True.
steal some
True.
drones.
Yeah, he's got his own life. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
that's crazy.
Shoutouts to this could have been you,
Terrence
Terrence Howard. This
This
could
could
have
have been
been
a
you.
multi-contract. Oh man, multi-contract
It's okay.
with the chance of an up of a raise each. Oh my god, come on.
It's okay, Terrence. Multiverse is
That's,
coming. You might make an appearance as an alternate roadie. We'll see.
that would be jokes.
But right now, it's wait time, baby. Just wait.
Yeah, they won't be filming nothing soon. It's coronavirus.
It's worse than Ultron, man.
Yeah,
Um, so
that's
they're trying
fucked.
to lift the hammer, and then it transitions to Ultron revealing himself. The messed up dummy comes out, much like Alan at the wedding, Sanders' wedding. He's like fucking, he was like
Oh
dying and
no.
stuff, and he did a little speech, which pretty much he says he wants the Avengers extinct,
Yeah.
right?
Wow, that's strong words.
And then this is where Tony's like, "Oh shit, you want my vision to come true,"
Ooh,
you know?
wow.
And that action sequence wasn't too crazy. The people were pretty much unarmed in a
Yeah,
sense. They weren't really ready for that type of fight. And so Ultron eventually ended up escaping. He was gonna escape at one point because he's like part of the internet or whatever. And he takes his refuge into the abandoned pretty much facility that they rummage through in Sokovia.
yeah,
That becomes his base. That's when he starts waking up. He's like, "There are no strings on me."
that's true. Well,
Yeah.
did you see in the beginning that when they were raiding the base,
Hmm.
Thor or maybe Tony's like zoomed into like a robot. I think it's like the Ultron robot, but like still not complete.
Oh wow, really? He was already
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I think they were scavenging like
yeah,
Iron Legions or whatever.
yeah,
From
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. Makes sense
Yeah,
why the production wasn't. Yeah, like it was faster than what it was supposed
yeah.
to be because he
Because it
already
was
had
already
parts
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. They were like manufacturing, and like when they were fighting those the army in the beginning as well. Some of them were flying, so like you know
Oh yeah, that is true.
they
Yeah.
had like some sort of jetpacks and
Yeah.
shit. So that was interesting.
There's a
It's
Hydra
like
tech, so I think a lot of that comes from the new element.
oh yeah,
Um, yeah, it's like
ooh,
better than army stuff, right? That's why they look like
yeah,
legit like comic book bad guys with like laser guns.
yeah. It's sick.
You know what I mean? They made it
They're
work
the
like that somehow.
Avengers. Yo, then in the beginning, it's like, can we stop them? Can we hold them? They're the Avengers.
Yeah, this is further like stamping the Avengers legitimacy in this
Yeah,
world as a
yeah.
not just like a
It's a
superhero
power.
team, but like a global. They're
It's a
known, yeah,
superpower.
yeah, they're known globally as a superpower enhanced team
Yeah,
that
it's
takes care of
crazy,
like world-threatening events. Um,
man.
so even after getting attacked by Ultron, Tony is still very adamant on justifying his actions, and it's solely because it reminds them of the potential threat from space, right? And this is where we get the title for pretty much the last movie, right? He said, we can kill bandits and bad guys here and there, but up there, that's the end game.
Hmm.
And then Cap disagrees, and he said, sorry, and he talks about Tony. Said we have to keep fighting. Tony says, "What if we lose?" And Cap says, "Then we'll do that together too,"
Whoa.
which is what happens in Infinity War.
Yeah.
They both lost together. So, in the same pretty much dialogue, it kind of gave us a little clue on what the ending was for this type of Avengers trilogy, right? And like, if you really think about it, Ultron is kind of like Project Insight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like it invades people's privacies and it kills trillions of people just to
Yeah.
like purify or saturate the world. And Cap is definitely is against that because he just how much work he did just to like get rid of Hydra, bro.
I know.
Cap's like, yo, you're supposed to be on my
I,
side, bro. You're making this
this
shit.
again. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's repetitive.
And this further butting heads with Tony
Yeah.
is the tension that builds up since like
I
the
like it.
first Avengers
Yeah.
to like Civil War. It builds it up, man. These
Put
two,
on the suit.
as much as these two have chemistry in terms of like combat and all that stuff, they don't see eye to eye when it comes
No.
to opinions and certain things. Team Cap, are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
I don't know. I'm actually Team Cap. Like,
I
know what I
have to
mean?
be. I have to be. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, fuck. It's Tony Stark. You know?
Tony's being safe. You can't blame the guy for being safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, yeah. Project Inside. The twins lost their parents due to a bombing, so we get to hear their history. And one shell didn't explode, which trapped them for days with the Stark logo on it. So this is why they have the hatred for Stark because it pretty much killed their family and ruined their lives, and
Yeah.
it's all because of that bomb. And it reflects on the first Iron Man as to why people feared him um, outside of the U.S. because they see his weapons as something that destroys their homes. And it's the same thing that happens here.
Jeez. This is deep themes here. Because this is real life shit. You know?
Yeah, that is true.
We're not laser or like Iron Man flying around. There's just drones and like, attack forces and more stealthy shit.
Yeah, the warfare now is very different to what it was.
Yeah.
Frontline people, World War One, the casualty is like in the squillions compared to the casualties now in like Afghanistan or Iraq or
Yeah.
wherever. Um, does it make it better? I think it just makes the warfare, more inhumane and
Yeah.
more statistical. It's just like to you, that's not a body, that's a
Cold.
dot on your screen, and you're just
Yeah.
erasing that dot. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Crazy.
the whole public, at least like the men growing up, are practicing for it with like Call of Duty, CS:GO, Halo. Come
Yeah,
on, like you
that
know
is
how
true.
like intuitive it would be for me to just go out with a battle rifle and be like, it's 2 hits, you're dead.
Yeah, that will
Yeah.
happen. That does happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, all training nowadays are virtual reality, and it's getting
That's
scarier
crazy.
out there, man. Like, what are we defending against? Ourselves? Like, what's going on, dude?
Yeah, that'd be sick if the final boss was like a mirror image of ourselves.
Oof.
Who are we
Yeah.
fighting? Ourselves. Dot
Ooh.
dot.
That's like some like M Night Shyamalan twist at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like fucking signs. Aliens were here to help us
Dark Gerald appears.
from the darkest timeline. I'm a Pokemon now. There's a
Yo,
dark
Dark
version.
Gerald, yeah.
Dark Gerald, Shin Gerald, I'm like Shinakuma. You'll do my fucking thing on you, dude.
The raging.
The raging demon. Yeah.
Ping.
Um,
What were we talking about?
yeah. So Ultron's plan to defeat the Avengers. It's much like the plan for Avengers One. He wants to divide them as a team and make them pretty much not like each other, which ultimately makes it easier for him to kill them. Kind of weak because that's what Loki tried to do. That was his distraction from the first Avengers. So I was
Yeah,
hoping that he would have some sort of different way in manipulating them. Because Ultron was very good like that in the comics in terms of like formulating plans and stuff. Because he's like
yeah,
super smart. So that was a little weak on my end to be like, oh, that again? They're gonna try to make
yeah,
Hulk kill everyone again? Like,
yeah, and that's probably why I also agree with that because the movie is bad because the themes that they use is like we've already seen it, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like really watered down version of a villain, especially because he was just a voiceover, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
never actually present in like the scenes and like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's weird. It's weird to have a just a CGI villain, because Ronin is like a real person.
Yeah. That was the last one that we saw
Yeah,
before this. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like if you're missing the practical part, it's just you know.
Yeah.
And actually, the presence of Iron Man is starting to feel flat, even though like that they have the sounds really nice and like
Mm-hmm.
because we don't see a physical suit anymore. It's like
Oh yeah, it's
a
what I think
really
Mark
CG.
43 now. Yeah, it's like super
Yeah,
CG now.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the things too.
Yeah,
Fell flat.
you lose a lot of things when it comes to like the more CG that you go to, you lose a lot
Yeah,
of the practical ones, and it's sad because like
yeah,
you know that's what movie magic is all about.
yeah,
But at the price of cooler shit,
yeah.
sometimes you gotta let go of the
Yeah,
cardboard stuff.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay
Uh,
sometimes,
it's okay. Yeah. The team tries to find out where Ultron is headed with the Strucker message. They killed Strucker off screen, pretty bad. Um,
Yeah,
and we get introduced to Ulysses Claw, which is the main bad guy in Black Panther later on, and is pretty important character in the comics as a bad guy,
yeah.
and of course, mentioning of Wakanda. So I think this is the first time
It's
we
cool. Yeah,
get to hear Wakanda like in
yeah,
full, you know,
yeah.
like acknowledged as a full country, right?
Totally. Yeah.
A lot of people were pretty excited at that part in the theater when they're like, "Oh my God, Black Panties!" and
Bikining itim.
yeah, um, and Ulysses Claw, I don't think he got a very good death. I think he was like, I think he's. I hope he comes back because I really love Andy Serkis and Ulysses Claw as a character in general, and I don't think he was done being a super bad guy yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Hopefully not.
definitely. I hope he becomes more bionic and more what's that vibraniumic.
But yeah, Vibraniumic. That's a thing.
Vib- like yeah, full of vibranium. You know?
Vibraniumite.
Yeah.
Like in the Anchorman, where it's like, Ron, there's 100 San Diego guns, San
San
Diego Knights,
Diegans.
San Diegans,
San Diegans.
San Diegans. Yeah, and then right after this, I think in Civil War is the next time we get to finally see Wakanda and meet Wakanda and pretty
A
cool
little bit.
stuff.
Like a
Yeah,
little bit.
a little
We
bit,
gotta taste, little
a
taste, a
little,
little taste.
a little taste, a little taste. You know,
Right,
it needs more salt.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Mhm.
when when Black Widow got voodooed, we get to see what the Red Room a little
Yeah.
bit, right? This
Ooh.
is Academy, uh, ballroom, sorry, ballet academy disguised um,
Yeah.
for the grounds of training assassins and killers, both physically and mentally. So she has a lot of like trauma from this place. But at the same time, it what made her such a successful and deadly assassin in
Yeah.
espionage. So we didn't really get to see much in terms of like narration, but we got to see visuals of like the target turning into a body. We see like,
Yeah.
oh, they're tricking them into like training and then they're like doing ballet and shit. It's pretty crazy.
Oh,
Excited for the Black Widow movie, just for the Red Room
Oh my god.
to see
Can't
what's there.
wait.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Um, See, this is where the part where it gets like everybody has like some sort of agenda, and everybody starts doing stuff on their own, and there's too many things being shown to us, like all the visions of each character, and then Thor. Afraid that his power will cause an end to Asgard, which does happen in Ragnarok. So that whole
Yeah.
vision was like, um,
Came true.
it came true, right? Like it was
Yeah.
a telling of the future of what's gonna happen, and I think it was regardless of the success of Thor was at this point. I think they were Ragnarok was bound to happen. I think that
Yeah.
was their main plan from the
Yeah.
beginning. It was just the way of executing it, and they did it.
So-
They did it. You did a good
Mm.
job,
Mm.
Taika. You did a
Oh
good
my
job with
god.
that one.
That's our guy.
Yeah. What is
That
he?
is
What is
our
he?
guy.
Directing next in the MCU?
Doctor Strange?
Is she though? Is he the one doing? No, no, that's
I
Sam
don't know.
Raimi.
Oh, Sam. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a horror. It's gonna be crazy. I'm
Yeah.
actually stoked because Sam Raimi made Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and that
Hmm.
New York. Oh,
Yeah.
New York looks good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did all that. I mean, did he do three? I mean, obviously that was weak as fuck. But that
Yeah.
wasn't his fault. That
No,
wasn't his
that
fault.
Sam
Apparently,
Raimi. Yeah, yeah,
Sony was very. They were pushing all those
yeah.
villains in together. That's
That's
what made the
stupid.
movie fail.
So stupid. Sony, you idiots.
It's like when the client thinks they know how to do your job.
No,
Shouts to all the creatives out there that have client problems. Because especially if you're freelancing, man, it's like the stupidest requests ever.
yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks.
that's what it is. The
Yeah.
font isn't manly enough. I don't know what the fuck that means.
What do you want? Fucking like cocks and like muscles. It's cock muscle like font. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But there's probably such a thing, so you're in luck.
Um, the Hulk goes crazy, and then we
Yeah.
get to see the Hulkbuster for the first time. This was
Oh, it's
super hype,
cool. Yeah.
and the fight scene was like A plus.
Yeah, yeah,
Thor wasn't available because he was too busy seeing Heimdall getting drunk. Um, and then I think
yeah. Oh, that's good.
Natasha at the same time was seeing things, so Tony had to step up and
Yeah, yeah.
had to release Veronica, which I think is also a little cage for Hulk, right? The fortified cage, but that didn't last for too long. I think it was
Yeah,
just there to give Tony some time to transform into
yeah,
Hulkbuster because it takes a long ass time.
yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's sick though.
Oh yeah,
Holy.
yeah, dude. And then the
Yeah,
way that he can like repair limbs, because like
yeah,
his arm, right? Yeah, that was really cool.
yeah, yeah. He
He's
thought
just
of
cool.
everything. Wow.
Tony is like a Boy Scout and a half, dude. Like, this guy
Yeah,
has like contingencies for everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Man, that's a smart guy right there.
I did a little research, and apparently the Hulkbuster in there takes 7 arc reactors to power. That's how
Like on
much.
the arms and the fucking
Yeah, like on the
legs and
joints and
shit.
all that
That's
stuff.
crazy.
Yeah, that's how much power it takes to go against the Hulk,
That's crazy.
right?
So 7-1 is the power level from Tony's like
Yeah, from
suit.
Tony's suit.
One
Yeah,
suit. One
yeah,
suit. Yeah, right.
crazy,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Um,
And that arc reactor is made from the space stone.
yeah, dude, like that's
That's
already enough power, is it not?
yeah.
But
So the Hulk is pretty strong,
I mean,
I
he
would say.
was he was the champion of Sakar. Cause Sakar, right? Was it
Yeah,
Sakar? Yeah, he was
yeah,
champion
yeah,
of Sakar. So
yeah.
his
They're
his
aliens
his
there.
strength,
Shit.
yeah, his strength is galactic. Like it's out there. It's like cosmic level.
That's crazy.
Which is as it should be. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people were skeptical about Hulk's power since most of the time he's always been, you know, fighting just little people, little armies here and there. But
yeah,
in Ragnarok, they really showed him like go head toe to toe with like crazy people.
yeah.
Um,
But Thor's still stronger.
Yeah, that's the classic banter, back and
Yeah,
forth banter that we definitely miss. I hope they do that again in the future when they're like older now. Like, you
yeah,
know, it's Banner Hulk now, where like
yeah,
Banner is there too. So hopefully, he gets a little bit of trash talking. Um, a Hulk spits out his tooth, just like how Abomination did in
yeah.
that scene. Pretty cool. Um, Then he knocks him out the same way that Hulk knocked out Thor after that sequence in the first Avengers, just
Yeah,
like punching him to the side or whatever. But you get to see when Hulk wakes up from the rubble, everybody is fearing him.
yeah,
Everybody's afraid of him. And he has this
yeah,
thing where it's like, why am I here, dude?
yeah.
Like I'm
Oh,
trying to like help people, like I thought these missions were for the good, and these people look like they're terrified of me. I don't
yeah,
belong here.
yeah.
This further fuels him to
Uh-huh.
run away, and with Banner also wanting to run away, this gave them a common goal, which is why at
Yeah,
the end Hulk was able to just leave,
yeah,
because it had both Banner and Hulk's mindset on leaving. So
yeah.
pretty crazy.
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Deep.
Is it too deep?
So
Stream, tell
deep.
me if it's too deep. MCU we're talking
Ooh,
about here.
it is deep.
um, then it's revealed that Hawkeye has a family.
That's cool.
That
I
was
like the scene.
pretty. Yep, that was pretty humbling, and it kind of brought us back down to earth. And he said that Fury worked very hard to keep this a secret. This was a huge death flag for Hawkeye, by the way. Hawkeye's been waving that death flag the entire movie, right? The whole
Yeah,
movie, he's like, I'm gonna die.
yeah.
I'm gonna show you everything I love.
Yeah, I know they were setting it up. Oh my god!
Like, super hard,
But
dude.
oh, but
Yeah,
the way that they used it against us is like he lives, and
yeah.
everything's taken from him. You're like, nah.
That's exactly it. This movie like
That's
hits harder by
yeah,
Endgame because it's
yeah.
like
No, Laura,
this was
no.
his yeah this was his second chance. We get to see the kids, man, the smaller
Yeah,
agents,
yeah,
as Tony says, because he couldn't believe it either. He's like, this guy is an eight. I don't know. This guy has no life. I
yeah,
don't know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Um, Kind of made
eh,
Tony a bit jealous too, because this is what he wants.
yeah,
Low
yeah,
key, this is what he wants, and like
yeah,
Barton had it all along. You know, Laura talks to Clint, makes a good point that it's scary that these powerful people need him,
yeah.
right? But in reality, it's what keeps the team grounded, right? It reminds them constantly who they're fighting for.
True.
The ones with a normal life, the ones with a family, the
Yeah.
ones that
Uh,
don't have superhuman abilities. And it puts the whole battle into perspective, and it kind of fires them up even more. That one of their teammates is a reflection of the global population that they're trying to save.
yeah. Wow.
Could be
Crazy.
wrong. I could be wrong because Clint is really the only one with like. I'm not saying he doesn't have a dark past, but he's the only one that has some sort of sense when it comes to like his decision making.
Yeah.
Because Tony is egotistical, was an alcoholic. Cap is a man out of time. Natasha was
Murderer.
yeah, she was manipulated by the Red Room.
Yeah.
Bruce is a runaway. Clint was the only kind of like sane, grounded level one. So, and this was another death flag for sure. Huge. Even when they left, she's like, "Come back, because we need to redo that. We need to refurbish that thing." It's like, yeah, for
No.
sure, I'll be back. He was just,
Come on.
yeah,
Why did they do this to us? I'm gonna die.
yeah.
I'm dead.
Do we need to talk about the Black Widow and Bruce scene in this
Skip
one?
that shit. Oh my god.
When he's shirtless and he was like very provocative dialogue.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye rolling in that
Oh
one.
my god. It's like sandpaper.
But
It's like sandpaper on my ass.
but
Oh my.
but this gives us a little view on Bruce's part where it's not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work running with a girl. Betty Ross was down for it. She was
Yeah.
down with the
Yeah.
sickness, and even then, that
She's
didn't
like,
work. Yeah, she was like, "Yo, I
that's
don't care if you
crazy.
turn into the Hulk to save
Yeah.
people. I dig
Yeah.
that." But
I
even
got
then,
you.
that doesn't work. People get hurt. Thunderbolt Ross is a jackass. We get to see more of him in Civil War. He's a jackass there too.
Yeah. Cool.
Um,
godlike character though, like so consistent.
Yeah, very consistent. This guy is
Yeah,
fucking
from the beginning. This is
hard-headed AF. Yeah.
he was in the Hulk, the second MCU movie.
Yeah, for real. Um,
Oh well, he was in the credits probably. But no.
yeah, he was.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, let's skip that scene. That scene was weak sauce,
really bad.
and I'm glad they didn't continue on with that. What was
Yeah,
that? Can I join you in the shower? What was that? Like,
I don't know.
that's not very MCU,
I
and
don't
it's
think
weird
so.
because this is the
It's a good.
first movie after the Disney sign, like after Disney came in. So it's like
Yeah,
you'd think there would be a little bit more wholesome stuff, but I guess they're like trying to prove a point that we're not gonna change just because
yeah,
some Nazi dude with a mouse gave us some money. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
We're not gonna take it.
no, we're not gonna take it. Shout out to Twisted Sister, man. D. Snyder, he's interior decorator now. Fun
Wow,
fact. Yeah.
wow. Where'd you learn that from?
Uh,
HGTV.
no, he was on CP24 talking about
Ooh,
love
let's
seats, and
go.
yeah, dude. I literally walked by and I was like, "Is that D. Snyder?" Everyone's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Born to Be Wild." We're not gonna take it. She's like, "I don't know who that is." He says, He's those are nice pillows." I was like, "Oh my god."
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
Yo,
yes,
he
yeah,
pulled out a fact. That's crazy.
yeah. Glam rock to interior designer.
Amazing.
Tony and Steve argue,
Amazing.
right? Tony says, "I don't trust a guy without a dark side," and Steve
Yeah.
replies, "Maybe we haven't seen it yet."
Oh, he knew. This is like they
Oof,
set that shit up. Come on.
oof, oof, oof. And he gets triggered. Steve gets triggered
Yeah.
because Tony says, "Isn't this the point of the fight? So we can go home. We can fight
Right.
and go home." And Steve
Yeah.
like rips that, because bro, this isn't home.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Like, how do you think he's
Tony?
gonna go home? Like,
Yeah.
this guy's waiting for time travel.
Stark was like, it'd be nice to like
Yeah.
stop and build a farm and
Mm,
retire and go home. Steve is like has that longing. It's like fuck, man.
yeah.
I'm
No.
so out of place. It's not even like I can't
Yeah.
get back to the country. It's dude, I can't go back.
Yeah. He's like,
Um,
his mindset is still like the music is weird, the food is weird. It's good,
mhm.
but it's weird.
Yeah, the references.
Yeah.
Remember in Winter Soldier, he's like, oh, we have to boil everything back then. The
Yeah.
food is better, and it's like polio is gone. That's good. That's always good.
Yeah, that sucks. Polio doesn't. I read about it once. It
Yeah,
doesn't sound comfortable, but
dude, it fucking killed people at childbirth. That's how
it's
your life
crazy.
expectancy was so short back then.
Wow.
Um,
Oh, that polio.
oh,
Oh, okay.
that's about Roly Poly Oly.
Right,
It's a
right,
good
right, right,
show.
right, right.
Um,
Oh shit. Oh, and actually earlier in this,
the scene.
no, earlier in this movie at the party, Falcon was like, Sam was like, he found a place in Brooklyn yet, and he's like, can't afford it, and then uh, Sam is like, well, home is home, and then Steve gave this look. He's like, come on, guy, it's not. Like,
Ooh.
why would I live in Brooklyn now? Like, Fat Joe is there. Like,
You do it look
the
like I'm part of
terrorist,
Terror Squad?
like Terror
No.
Squad. I mean, like, that would be a sick gang to join if, like, I want to be in that reality.
That's true. Big pun. Yeah, you got to be affiliated with the right type of people when it comes to Brooklyn. Remy Ma. Yeah, well, I totally overlooked that part when Sam said that.
Yeah.
It's another jab at Steve and the team not fully understanding Steve's position. Because who can understand it, right? Only Bucky, only that dude. And
That's why he's looking for this man.
even then, he's messed up.
Yeah.
Um, Tony talks to Fury about his dream where he saw everyone die except for him, and that was the
Yeah.
worst part. The opposite happens in Endgame. So does that mean
Oh
that
my
was the
god.
best part?
Like the best outcome.
Yeah, since
Yeah,
that was yeah,
because it was like the one out of 14 million, right?
yeah.
Because all of it was like, but there was one possibility.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
shaking finger. Crazy.
Nuts. Why is it so cold? What happened?
Wow. Yeah. Ultron is there, dude.
God,
He's looking at you right now. You got
it got very cold.
you got Scarlet Witch's voodoo on you right now.
Oh no, I haven't seen a vision.
So they figured out that Ultron's plan is to make a new body using vibranium that he
Ooh,
got from Ulysses Claw and the scepter and
wow, that's great.
Helen chose machine. So they were going to use tissue to combine with the vibranium, which ultimately creates Jarvis. And so it was supposed to be Ultron's mind that was supposed to be put on that one,
Yeah,
but instead the team got it. They got Jarvis's mind on it. Blah
yeah,
blah blah blah. But this explains us how Vision was made, which is actually not that hard to follow. And I'm glad how his design ended
yeah.
up. I really like Vision. He
Oh
was.
man, this was an amazing thing to see.
Mhm.
Wow.
This was. I mean, we had to say goodbye to Jarvis, but the Vision is a really good addition,
Yeah,
and it further expands our universe in the
yeah.
MCU in terms of like accepting sentient
Sentient
artificial.
beings.
Yeah, like this
Yeah,
is like how do you
that can
describe Jarvis?
walk, that can walk through walls and people and like
Yeah,
create beams.
like to a point where it to him he's like we don't even get shocked anymore seeing him in Civil War.
Yeah, that's true. It's so normalized.
It's so normalized. Yeah, no, normalize sentient beings, man. Is that a thing people say now? Uh, which is really cool.
Yeah, in 2015 they did.
2015 they did, yeah.
Yeah, and then they
Thor
did.
goes and gets help from Eric Selvig. So we get a cameo from this dude. He's not out in the Stonehenge getting buck naked and going crazy. Uh,
Good for him.
but this one is a little bit convoluted in terms of what the overall plan was. Thor wanted to go back to his dream
Yeah,
to see what was going on, and he needed Eric to be there to go into the well and do some next well of visions. Oh, what is that? You're the Thor expert. Can you give us a little bit insight about what exactly happened there?
I don't know. This was weird.
There we go. That's correct. This is like
This was
the
weird. Why was he there? Like, why did he have to come?
who's Eric? Yeah, yeah. Like I guess Eric knows a lot about things now because of what he saw, and Thor is not the smartest dude. So I guess he's like,
Yeah, but man, this cave scene, like, I wish they didn't come back to this.
yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but they sort of had to make a little bit more sense in terms to why Thor thinks Vision is part of the plan. Because at the end, he's the one that jumpstarts him, right?
Right.
He's like, I saw a vision, and it was Vision's eyes opening up after that well scene, right? He's like, oh shit. He looked into my eyes. He saw his penance.
Oh,
Fucking Surtur was there and all that stuff. Um,
OTG.
but a little bit weird. One of the subplots that was once again scattered throughout this whole movie,
Yeah,
and it made the whole film seem
hate it,
sporadic. Yeah,
hate it,
yeah. Hate it, hate it, hate
hate it, hate it.
it. Then Wanda and Quicksilver decided to dip Ultron's side because they found out that this guy wants to kill the whole world. That's not what the plan
It's
was.
not
I
that far,
thought.
yeah.
Yeah, and they just dipped out of there. Literally, Quicksilver just bolted this man. I didn't like that casting as much. I think Scarlet Witch was good, but having that dude as Quicksilver, didn't really see him as a Quicksilver type.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad. I guess that they didn't. We don't get to see that character anymore. But a sad death scene nonetheless. Um.
He looks like he would wear Quicksilver in real life. You know, go to Sears
Oh, like
outlet,
like the
those shorts and those
yeah.
colored pattern
He
shirts.
is in full running gear. As we've noticed, which
Yeah,
kind of plays.
Quicksilver.
This Quicksilver is definitely not as powerful as the one from the X-Men
Yeah,
universe. Um,
yeah,
so which kind of means that MCU has a way of not overpowering people too much. Because the one from X Men, dude, when he like saved those children from like the X Mansion and stuff, that was like
Yeah, that's
one of the
X.
most X scenes.
Yeah, but he missed one, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Havoc,
Oh, did she die?
Cyclops' brother,
Oh, did he die?
in the fire. Yeah, because he
Oh
missed
shit!
them. Yeah, rip.
I
But
haven't
he was
seen
like
that one in so
right,
long.
but oh yeah, I know. Oh, that's so good with Fassbender though. Oh my god, that was his
Yeah,
prime.
yeah. Michael Fassbender was really good. Yeah, I like those movies where they go back to the past. Like First Class was really cool. All that stuff. Anyways, then we get to the highway scene where they try to hijack Vision. That was a pretty cool action sequence. Um, with the drones driving the truck, and I was like, why didn't you just carry the thing, and just fly out
Yeah,
of there. Like there were so many things that was a little bit weird on that point, but cool action scene nonetheless. Thor fighting, sorry, Iron Man fighting Ultron in the highway near the buses.
yeah,
Natasha coming in with the motorcycle. You know,
yeah. They filmed that in Seoul.
oh, was that?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, I didn't
yeah.
know that. Wow, I didn't even recognize. Where was that
The
supposed to
highway.
be in the movie? I can't even remember, but that did not look like Seoul at all.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. It's weird because yeah, yeah. They were. I knew someone who was like, "Yo, do you like the Avengers?" And then they were in Seoul.
Hmm.
Like, yo, I saw like Black Widow, like stunt double, and I'm like, I don't want to see the picture of the stunt double.
Yeah, you want to see Scarlett Johansson? The fuck you talking
Yeah,
about? That's
yeah. It's like,
hilarious.
yeah, but they're on the motorcycle. I'm like, I don't care. So they're filming this highway scene in Seoul. Cool.
That's hilarious. Yeah, none of the
Yeah,
people are gonna be there. It's all gonna be
yeah.
stuntman. Are you crazy? Yeah. Oh wow, that's crazy, guys. You heard it here first, man. PBC member who was
Wow.
there on scene,
Jeez.
experiencing um, the action sequence shots for
Yeah,
the highway scene. I mean, it wasn't as good as Winter Soldier, but there was some pretty X stuff. Cap using
yeah.
the upside down car to boost himself back on the truck. That was pretty X. Um, in the train scene, that was kind of pretty cool.
X.
It was
It's pretty
really
X.
X, but it showed the twins their power,
Yeah.
and it made them
Oh,
realize how they can use it to save people instead of doing harm.
yeah.
What was that reaction?
But because this is the first time we see Wanda and her accent. First of all, uh,
Horrendous. Really,
it's
really thick and yeah,
yeah, it's like so fake.
very
Uh,
forced. Yeah,
yeah, and her like witchy like
witchy woman,
signals.
witchy
It's
woman.
like really amateur at this point
Yeah,
because she
yeah.
actually took I think like these specific lessons for like spell casting
That's
and
hilarious.
shit.
From LARPers, I guess.
Ex
Yeah, you will not.
Expelliarmus.
That's what LARPing is, man. That's what they do all day, every day. Yeah.
They do magic as well. I thought it was just like spears and like swords and stuff.
They do magic. They get like potions and shit.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. And also like rangers. Do they have rangers?
Oh
Ooh,
yeah.
that's
I mean, it
sick.
depends on who you come as, because it's your own cosplay, right? Have you been
Yeah.
LARPing? Me and my
No,
cousin always wanted to go.
that's crazy. No, I've never been.
Oh, I want to be an
That would be
ent.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah. Like
OP.
yeah, exactly. And plus, I'm
OP.
neutral, so I don't
Yeah,
like battling and
yeah,
stuff. I'll just give
yeah,
knowledge and
yeah.
shade.
Fight in the shade. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we
Uh,
talking about?
but yeah, her magic thing wasn't as fluid
Yeah,
as it becomes later on.
yeah, yeah. But it looks okay.
Yeah,
That's
she
alright.
stopped the train. Quicksilver got all the people out of the way. Pretty cool stuff. Kind
Yeah,
of corny, kind of cheesy, but superheroes, man. What do you expect?
yeah,
You gotta make it look cheesy. Um, Wanda says Ultron can't tell the difference between saving the world and destroying it. Where do you think he gets that from? This
ooh,
is where now we see a little bit or realize that Ultron's sort of a reflection of Tony.
yeah,
Because this is what Tony's mindset was like to protect the world, but to the extreme Ultron's protection is to revamp the world, to retcon everything.
Yeah.
So Tony, man, he made a monster. He made this is Tony times 5,000, pretty much what Ultron is in terms of like idealism
Yeah.
and um,
And quips, because he beat him to a quip,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and nobody like
Nobody
nobody
beats.
does that.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly, you've
Yeah.
never made omelets. It's like I
Yeah.
was literally 2 seconds away from
Literally, he's never made an omelet. That's so good.
that. um, Vision gets a full introduction. It's pretty crazy. He like
Oh, it's
pops.
godlike.
First of all, Thor comes in with the boost, right? He's like, "Thunder, it's
That's so
coming!"
X.
Yeah, pretty X things, and his eyes
Yeah.
fucking glow up, and he's like, like he
My
does some,
God.
he does some
Yeah.
motion out, right? With like white smoke coming
Yeah.
out.
What was that? He did a like a thriller.
Yeah, yeah, he did like some sort
What?
of like choreographed move.
Oh shit! He's
Shout
the
outs.
goalie Mar.
Yeah, he did the Vince Lau. Shout
Ooh,
outs to Vince Lau, man. Vince Lau,
yo, whip that
Trent up,
head.
Trent up, Trent up.
Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a godlike ice cream.
Yeah,
Man, I dream about that. I'm gonna order some soon when I
yeah.
get paid.
Justin Trudeau rating.
Man,
Um,
fuck you, Trudeau.
whoa.
Give me more money.
Okay.
Give
Okay.
me more money.
I was super skeptical about Vision joining the Avengers, especially when I saw the little snippet from the trailer, because I wasn't sure if they were going to bring him in, and then you saw the eyes thing, and you're like, oh shit. And then fully seeing him here and how he was executed in terms of like how he first came into the world, why he has a cape, it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. And using the hammer to instantly
Gain
uh,
their like respect. Yeah,
yeah, to gain their respect and trust was so smart instead of
yeah,
like because a lot of people be like, "Wow, you're already letting him help him." Like
yeah,
this, that's so stupid. But him being
yeah,
able to lift the hammer was more than enough to say, "Okay, this guy,
yeah,
you can trust this guy. He
yeah.
knows what's up."
That's crazy.
Pretty crazy,
That's a
and
good setup too, because they did that whole like lifting scene to to
exactly
scale it, right?
to scale it
Yeah,
so that each and every one of them knows how it feels
yeah,
or can relate to it more. Where it's
yeah,
like, wow, even I can't lift it.
yeah,
That's
yes.
crazy.
Okay, okay, you're worthy. All right.
It's a funny scene because like Vision has no idea. He just knows that's his weapon. And he's just like, "Yo, we need to
Yeah,
go, bro. We need
yeah.
to dip set right now."
Let me pick this up real quick. Mm.
Yeah, it's like, yo,
I was
here's
born yesterday.
you're unbelievably naive.
That's so good. Oh man! But shout outs to the actor who did Jarvis for this
Mm,
entire Iron Man run. Didn't know that he was gonna be Ultron.
hmm
And first of all, we didn't know he was cut.
Oh
Like
yeah, I was
the
like, wow, this guy has a Marvel body already. God
dude, he
damn,
didn't. Did he have that when he was like,
just
Iron Man
Jarvis.
1? Like, come on.
That's
What is
yeah,
this? It's 8 years into it,
that's
right?
crazy. Paul Bettany, this guy.
Yo,
This guy,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
dude, he's been there since Iron Man 1. Yeah, this
Yeah,
guy's
2008.
OG, yeah.
Yeah,
He only missed one movie, which was Endgame. Like,
yeah,
that's
rip.
this, man. That's money, dude. That's
That's
some
crazy.
money, dude.
Ooh, that's contract.
Terrence Howard, dude. Like,
You messed up, my brother.
yeah.
Yeah,
It could have been Jarvis saying, next time,
yeah.
sir.
Can I suit you up, sir? No.
Yeah, you never get to talk to him ever.
Yeah, it sucks.
But we do have to say goodbye to him here.
Yeah,
And since they're only using Jarvis as pretty much the skeleton AI voice for
yeah,
this body, that means that Jarvis, as an intelligence, is no longer with us. Rest in
yeah,
peace. And it was overtaken by the Mind Stone, but at least we still get to hear him. Um, but we do get a new AI. Her name is Friday,
yeah.
which is this pretty much from till the end, right? He doesn't switch
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, Friday,
Yeah,
all the way until Edith
yeah. Edith was the one that was left
with the Peter.
with Peter. Yeah,
Yeah,
Peter
but
Rosas.
there's a reference for that, um, like
Friday.
in the lore of Friday.
I just know that it's from his Girl Friday. You know, like Girl Friday.
Girls Friday. What do you mean?
There's an old movie called His Girl Friday, and it's about like
Oh, like
yeah, it's about like an assistant to newspaper journalist,
yeah,
and Girl Friday is what they used to call assistants back then. It's
right.
supposed to be like a derogatory term, but
Ooh, that's weird.
it's no longer considered a derogatory term. So back in like
Oh,
the 50s, it was.
oh, that's weird.
This movie was came out in the 40s. So
Jeez.
that's what I know from the top of my head, because I watch really old movies. Guys, if you watch really old movies, they have some sort of relevance, I think.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
You gotta see the
and
evolution
Cary
of our
Cary
media.
Grant's in it, which
Cary Grant.
North by Northwest, one of the best Hitchcock films.
Very nice.
That shit is mint. Man,
Clip that stream.
I fucking love old movies. That shit
Clip
is
that.
lit. Um. Anyways, Friday comes in, which is the shorty. Now he has a shorty in the
Yes.
system. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Um, and
She's
then
Irish.
Cap does a motivational speech as per usual. This man is righteously godlike with the words. He says, Ultron thinks we're monsters. It's not just about beating him. It's finding out whether he's right. Oof.
Oh my God.
Because it's true, man. Because if we get beat by Ultron, the Avengers are the monsters because they're the ones who made Ultron.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Wow. This guy is like moral dilemma,
Yeah.
like featuring Nelly and Kel.
Oh.
Ah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yo, shout outs to Dilemma from I think it was Nelly 2.0 album, right? Or is that from Nellyville? No. Is it Nellyville?
Welcome to Nellyville.
Okay, so welcome to
Yeah.
Nellyville. My bad.
Yes,
Uh,
Nellyville. My God.
yeah, shout outs
Wow.
to
Albums.
shout outs to Nelly with a band-aid. Man,
God.
it's the
Ooh.
reason why I bought Air Force Ones because of him.
Yeah. Same. I had the camel ones. Holy shit.
Oh, dude,
Civvy days
dude.
were like, ooh, where did you get those? And I would tell them L.A.
Ooh, yo, this man did the fucking you
Uh,
finessed them, you curbed it because I'm not telling you where I got them because you're gonna go get them. I'm saying
Word,
I'm
but
not telling
no,
you
but
about Foot Locker at Dixie Mall. No.
true. No, but I actually got them from. Here's the fucked up part. I got them from L.A. And here's a funnier part. I got them from Burlington Coat Factory, which is like
Of course,
a
yeah.
Sears,
Yeah.
and it was like $20, and they were Air Force Ones camo, and nobody liked them. Yeah,
But it was so
God.
rare here in Canada
Yeah, you didn't
to
see
get
that here.
different colored Air Force. Usually black or white.
Uh,
That's it. High
Yup.
lows.
Big boy. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
We
dun,
didn't
dun.
have all the things that they were talking about, like the red and
Yeah,
blue and the white and blue. Like that shit
yeah.
was like for like
Oh my
basketball
God.
team colors, and man,
It was fire. It was like,
give me two purse.
I need two pairs. Yo, I would go and post up, and then people would be like, it's legit. I can look and I can tell. And it'd be like, yo, you're right.
Do you put the straps on, or is it the straps just?
I like to let the straps hang because I was
Oof.
wearing some like baggy Xcode jeans.
Ooh, you gotta have the Xco
Come
jeans,
on.
dude.
Come on.
Gotta. Yeah.
Xco.
Nice.
Yo, and what do we got? And then a bootleg shirt, probably. Who knows?
Man, this guy said bootleg shirt. Yeah,
Who
wow.
knows? Yeah.
Civvy's Day was like the day, right? Where
Yeah.
I went to public school, so every day was like that. So we didn't really like swag out too much. We didn't have a
Yeah.
day to swag out. But man,
Yeah, but these Catholic schools, man, like for sure, it's a really cool subculture in the high schools of Mississauga because I don't know if that happens anywhere else. Like, what's civies? Because if you think about it, GTA Catholic high schools, they all go to the one place to get uniforms, like
In
McCarthy.
McCarthy's, yeah.
So it's like a whole business within like
It's a
the school
monopoly.
system. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird, right?
yeah.
So, and then when I talked to other people who didn't go to these Catholic schools, and I was like, wow, did I like grow up in a cult? Yo,
It has its own like own community, own vibe,
yeah,
own language.
it
Yeah,
felt like the world was small because everyone you knew was like, yeah, I have McCarthy uniforms. You're like, oh my god, it's like
yeah.
this is our world.
It's like
That's
Hunger
weird.
Games, man. Like
It's
different
crazy.
districts and all that stuff. Yeah. Meanwhile, the public school, we're the real slums, dude. They don't even care.
True.
I go in
Yeah.
there with slippers sometimes. No fucking
X.
dress code. There isn't.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
That
Girls will
must have
come in
been
with flip flops and shit. Guys can come in with flip flops.
that must have been fun.
Yeah, I guess. But
But
you don't know how it is until you know what I mean? Like for us it was like it would be nice to have uniforms because we don't have to like keep doing laundry so
yeah.
much, you know?
Yeah.
There's so many different things and some people that go to Catholic schools be like, man, I wish we didn't have uniforms, just wear whatever we want.
Yeah. That's pretty useful
The
sometimes.
grass is greener
Yeah,
on the other side. Remember that, guys.
it's true. I
Uh,
actually prefer the uniforms actually.
yeah, because you don't have to think about what you. For me, I don't really care what the things that I wear. So usually, I sometimes I go to school. I don't have a shirt on because I just forget. You know,
Yeah.
um, some people they.
Wait, so I actually was just thinking about I had a flashback stream
What's up?
because
Did you?
like I remember being in school
Hmm.
and when the weather turns cold, so sometime in like September or like maybe October,
Hmm.
they make it mandatory to wear the sweater over the polo dress or the dress shirt.
Oh, okay.
So if you were caught without the sweater in the hallways by a teacher or any staff, you would get in trouble. You would have to be
Really?
sent to the principal's office.
Wow. That's pretty extreme, no?
That's actually like now that I think about it, I'm like,
That's
is that
fascism
legal?
right there. That's Antifa.
Well, that's like conditioning right here. It's
Yeah,
conditioning
that is
people's
true. Why do they care?
like yeah, who cares? Like
Yeah.
my art teacher didn't care, but she had to enforce it. She's like, you know what? I don't care about this rule, but I have to enforce it. So no,
Yeah, that's true that you're in her class and she can't pretend be like, oh, I didn't see him without a sweater on.
yeah,
That's crazy, man. But that's nice that they care that you're warm. I guess.
yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like for one whole month, like our science room had to get the windows repaired. We didn't get another room, bro.
Oh
We had to stay in there,
shit!
bro. Yeah, and it was winter. They didn't give a
Why?
fuck. I was trying to make
Oh
molecule balls together, trying not to freeze
Lord!
my ass off.
Wow.
It was horrible. Shout out support credit, man. Let's go Warriors. Anyways, let's get back into this. We just
Forgot we're
fully,
doing
yeah.
this. Dead.
um, Jarvis erases Ultron from the internet, so this leaves
Yeah,
just that core Ultron in Sokovia.
yeah.
Um,
But why is why is the Vision so much stronger than Ultron? Is it because he's the more complete version of Ultron or the Mind Stone?
I think it's the Mind Stone, yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
I think
So
it's
he's like, he is the Mind Stone.
yeah, pretty much. Like he has those powers because like Ultron is a product of the Mind Stone,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like extracted from it as an AI. So
Right.
Ultron has the intelligence, but he doesn't have the mysterious powers, which is
Right.
like all he had to do was like, what did he do? He like touch Ultron, right? And he like hacked
Yeah.
into his head
Yeah.
some next shit.
Yeah. It was crazy. It's like, how did you do that? It's nuts.
Yeah, and Ultron's like, fuck you. I'm gonna activate this island, and it starts going up,
Yeah.
starts
That's crazy.
boosting up, and now we
Yeah.
get to see where that vibranium was used, which was
Yep.
this huge ass booster that goes all along the whole city of Sokovia,
Yeah.
and he's pretty much using it as a meteor
Yeah.
because he learned that that's how the dinosaurs died back then. So he wants to wipe out the Earth, and the only things left will be metal, right? As you said,
That would be cool.
which means metal because he's a big
Yeah.
metal fan. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna listen to Slayer all day.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, listening to Fall Out Boy. Err.
am I more than you bargained for? Yeah.
Man,
Is that the best album from
yeah,
Fall Out Boy?
yeah, yeah,
Apple
yeah,
Under the Cork Tree
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
I like their titles back then. They were like silly. You know
It
what I mean?
was long as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like
Yeah.
it was dope.
Drink that gin, and it wouldn't have nothing to do with the fucking song.
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah,
lyric or not the plot or whatever. But they
yeah.
have man. Fall Out Boy. Fob had some bangers. That's
They did, yeah.
pop
Where
punk.
is your
Uh,
boy tonight?
yeah, I hope
Oh
he's a
man.
gentleman.
Oh my god.
Maybe
You
we'll
won't
find out
find
what
out.
I.
I know. That's metal right there. Holy shit.
This guy said that's a metal.
I don't even care
That's the
if you're
same
in that
category.
is
That's the
metal
same category as Metallica,
as metal.
Slayer, and
That's a that is a new element.
yeah,
It's metal.
it's a new element. Later on, they kind of like with Foil Adieu, and the band breaking up, and they did the Donnie What a Catch. Still lovely songs though.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
would say $20
Yeah.
Nosebleed. There's some good songs here and there.
It's alright.
Uh, but nothing compares to Champagne for My Real
Oh yeah.
Friends and
Replaying for my champ friends.
yeah,
Damn.
and the fucking what's that one? Even the one with the takes over, the breaks over, and thanks for the memories. That was a good album
That
as
was a
well.
good album too. Yeah.
Shout out to shout out to Patrick Stump. But anyways, let's get back to this. We keep fucking going crazy.
Yo, it's 2 hours and we're not even done.
Stop. All right, keep going. Um, we're not gonna skip the part where it's not talking about Natasha and Banner acting like a couple. That was pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
already hating it. You're like you're rolling your eyes a little
Oh,
bit.
man, this is a bathroom break right there.
Yeah.
Bathroom break.
I just keep putting the word weak every time there was a
Yeah.
scene with them. Hawkeye does a little speech with Scarlet Witch, and
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, this is probably how his old interaction was with Black Widow, when she doubted her past as a murderer and an assassin. Because
Yeah.
this is what Scarlet Witch was, where she looked at herself as a monster and was overwhelmed by Ultron's attack. But he's like, "Yo, there's flying robots. The city is flying, and I have a bow and arrow.
Let's go.
None of this makes any sense, but you gotta go out there and do your job
Yeah.
because you're an Avenger. And this is where, Clint, man, that's that willpower right there, and never
Yeah.
letting the powers of his teammates bring him down in his contribution to the cause. Like,
Yeah.
shout outs to Hawkeye, dude.
Jeez, what an assist.
Yeah,
What an assist.
the giblet.
Yep.
You know what I
Bing.
mean? Yeah, dude. This guy is a crazy OTG. Like, he's just so good. One of the best.
Poison
out
arrow.
there. Yeah, triple arrow.
Super scatter shot.
but Scarlet Witch comes out super dramatic in that one. Remember
Yeah,
when she
it's
comes
extra.
out of the building? She's
So
like,
X.
"Whew."
Yeah. She's like doing Vogue. She's like boom, boom.
Yeah, she was on the runway in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hawkeye had the whole "Atta girl, that's what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
Um,
That was swag though.
Yeah. And then Tony pretty much realizes the severity of it all. His choices are what? To blow up the island on top, or what? Let the fucking island fall.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what is
Well,
there?
no, at that point, like he knew that he had to sacrifice the island, and the further they were going up,
Yeah.
the bigger the blast zone.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know what, guys, I don't.
We
I
have
don't
to
tell
blow
you.
up this island. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cap's like, there's people on this island.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, the further we go,
Yeah, like
the
how do
more
you,
people
dude?
will die.
Yeah,
Look at
dude.
that. It's like, yo, who's gonna die? I don't know, but
A lot more people are gonna die if we let this go.
yeah,
But people will have to die
yeah,
if we blow up this. But good thing, Fury, you son of a bitch. And he goes,
yep.
ooh, you kiss your mother with that mouth? This is the
Nice.
third quip, I think, of Cap being made fun of for not liking swearing, which is hilarious. And Rhodey comes through, and his first line is, yes, this is going to be a good story.
I'm dying. Oh shit! But
So there's
then you see he gets an interaction with
uh,
fucking the Vision, and he's like, okay, what?
yeah, dude. Vision comes in and rips the thing in half, and he's like, okay. Like, he wasn't there for the whole thing. This guy just wanted to come to the party.
I'm fucking dying because in the next one, the
Also,
Ant
the
Man thing.
Civil War. Yeah, yeah. He got fucked up by lying too, right?
Yeah.
I love how
Holy shit.
everybody's so shocked at that. Tony's like, does anybody on our team have any shocking abilities that they want to disclose before we go through this?
Tony did not get the memo about that. We didn't talk
Yeah.
about the Ant Man to him.
Yeah, I love how Ant Man was just like there and like all these things, man. Like all the technology all converging into like one movie is pretty insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, Rhodey comes in. He does a good job in that one, and he's looking for another story to tell.
Yeah.
Boom, you're looking for this?
That's so jokes.
um, Tony instantly goes to him because bromance. You know, as soon as Rhodey comes in, he's like, "You have to hold my hand for that one." He's like, "You had to make it weird, right?"
Yeah.
This is dope because we get to see Rhodey with the rest of it. This is like two of your group of friends,
Oh yeah. Colliding.
colliding.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy can do
Yeah.
shit too. You know, he's kind of like Iron Man, but like a beefier kind. He's Black Iron Man.
Yeah. Here comes. What's that word?
Yeah,
I forgot what that word is.
but Cap's black best friend isn't in this one. Kind of sad. He does come up later on though. Yeah. They're both progressive, right? With their best friends, 'cause they're both.
Yeah. But Disney said, "Oh, there's already one black guy there, so
Oh, so we don't need Sam
yeah,
Wilson in this one.
definitely that's what Disney said
Uh,
because they
mm,
could have, they could have."
you know what? That's something Walt himself would say.
Yeah,
Actually, Walt
what
would
a
have said some
racist!
crazy stuff.
What a racist! That's crazy. But I do like Toy Story.
I love how
So
that's your redeeming factor. You know what I mean?
it's not
He's a
redeeming. I just saying.
racist. But Toy Story?
Well, it wasn't really by him though.
It's Pixar, I think. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Pixar animated, but yeah,
yeah,
whatever. Who cares? He's dead now. Or
yeah.
frozen.
He's just frozen like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking read the benign nine.
You have to say things like Disney to stuff to him, right? Pinocchio, Dumbo. He's like,
Broomstick.
he's like yelling, broomstick,
Yeah.
Gruntilda.
Oh,
Um,
shit. Was that Disney?
I don't know.
Matilda?
That's
Whoa.
Pietro dies. Quicksilver dies in this
Rip.
one,
Rip.
which debunked all the death flags that Clint was waving.
Yeah.
But then again, Disney did say to Fox, or Fox did say to Disney that you can put the twins in, but Quicksilver can't join the team, and only
Oh.
Wanda. So this was, I guess,
Oh,
MCU's
that's
way of
why.
saying, yeah, guess we can't put him in. Bet you didn't see that coming.
That was weird.
And that was his first and last line in the
Yeah.
whole movie. So it was with Clint as well. 'Cause his first line was, "You didn't see that coming."
He got so Russian.
Yeah, he was Russian because he was going fast. Get it?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Hello.
Russian. Put that shit.
And then the action scene of them like going ham on all the fucking robots. That was
Yeah,
obviously fan service AF. It was just them in a circle,
yeah.
protecting the thing, and Hulk just shredding through everybody, and like
That's
Vision.
actually nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like visual wise, like Cap just like fucking like
Yeah,
somersaulting for no reason.
yeah,
Tony blasting, Wanda doing her crazy spells because she went nuts right when Pietro died. She like
yeah,
screamed. She was like Dark Phoenix in that one.
yeah. It's like the Odin Force was transferred to her.
Yeah, Odin, yeah,
Ah, psh, explosion.
yeah, Super Saiyan. But that was crazy montage
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
action, and it shows
Imagine them in
us.
the studio, like, just, all right, everyone, flip.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a fast like camera that just goes like this,
Hmm.
like it's one of those
Like
cool cameras.
the Matrix ones, right? The ones that
It's on
well,
a track.
yeah, like
Yeah.
back then in the Matrix, they actually had multiple cameras set up for that because they didn't have that
Oh
tech
yeah.
before. But
Oh,
now that
those. Yeah. True. True. True.
panoramic
True.
tech is like now available,
Yeah.
this was definitely this was like a reflection of what they did in the first Avengers when they did the
Oh, like
turnaround
the
shot, right?
circle. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's cool.
Um, but then once again, this fight wasn't as crazy as the Ultron one. I mean, sorry, as the first Avengers one, the New York City battle one.
Yeah.
It was
Because it's another army.
overwhelming, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was just
It's a
another army. Yeah.
it's an army of disposables. That's you know you know
Even at the end, Ultron was just flying a plane. He like shot Quicksilver. There
yeah
wasn't much of a crazy bad guy invulnerability. Like he was very vulnerable from the start, and he was just about clearing the waves of
yeah
Zerglings at that point.
yeah
You know, but Sokovia is definitely an event that affected the team and the MCU a lot
yeah
because the Accords was made under that name, and so this movie shouldn't be, I guess, subsided just for that. Just for the bad directing and bad editing and all that stuff. At least it
yeah.
gave us some sort of like
Good
progress
setup.
and meaning and setups. Yep. Um, but overall, what do you think about the last battle? Even down to the Jarvis, Vision eliminating the last one. That was pretty good dialogue.
Yeah, I like the dialogue, but the final battle, like to keep all the Ultron things away from turning a switch on. It's like, it's kind of like a weak like climax to a movie that's set up,
Mhm.
you know,
You
where
think
he's
it
like
should have been?
super.
You think there should have been Tony to finish off Ultron and not Vision?
I think it makes sense with Vision because
He's a
he's
counterpart to
like,
it, right?
yeah, he knows more,
Hmm.
and you know, because like Tony and him didn't really have a relationship.
Yeah,
Like they didn't know each other. They like met each other and just knew of each other, but they didn't get to know each other. So
yeah. He's
makes
like an
sense.
estranged son a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I agree fully. Um, the action scenes were dope, super pretty, like crazy
yeah,
action, all that stuff. But the substance wasn't there, and the threat just wasn't as imminent as
yeah,
before. Because I guess it scaled down a little bit from like a cosmic threat to like you know
yeah.
an inner threat, which I guess doesn't resonate with us as much. After the scenes, Hulk curved Shorty
Ooh, yeah,
and
yeah.
left her on red. Woo.
Yep, that's mean.
Yeah, she
He's
was
the
speechless
meanest.
after that too. She's like, oh,
Yeah, he's the meanest Avenger.
he's
He ghosted Shorty. Wow,
welcome, meanest Avenger. This man was he was
wow.
arms. I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys know lingo like that, but the
arms.
man's was being arms that day. He was being mean.
Yeah,
He left him. He said,
yep.
"Turn around, come back," and he's like, "Bloop."
Yeah, no,
Because when
nope.
shorties are too clingy, man.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry, but you've
god.
met you met clingy shorties, right?
I guess. Yeah, yeah,
I'm a virgin, guys, so I don't really
yes.
know
Yeah, this
anything
guy's like
about.
12.
What is this? I'm like 12. What
He's
is
like,
this?
what is this? You're trying to let me know that.
Um, the new Shield headquarters is unveiled, and it's no
And
longer no longer in the tower anymore. Is that how you say it? Unveiled,
unveiled.
unveiled. Sorry,
I'm dead.
I'm an immigrant stream. I don't know if you
He's
know
like
that.
12. He
Yeah.
just
What
got
is
here
this?
last year.
Well, I was born yesterday. Um, and then we get to
For
see this
sure.
in Ant Man
Yeah.
later on as well. Eric Selvig now works at Shield. We see a
Yep.
little cameo of him,
It's
and
cool.
the new baby is named Nathaniel Petro Barton, and it's
Wow.
after the dead
Petro. Yeah.
Quicksilver.
Quick. Yeah.
And Nathaniel is an ode to Natasha. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
That's cool.
Besties.
That's cool.
Thor goes back to Asgard. He's like, "Yo, you guys, the Mind Stone. I trust Jarvis.
Yeah.
He should be cool. I got some shit."
Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And he ruined their lawn. Tony says he's done and wants to build Pepper a farm,
Oh yeah.
which eventually he does. But in the meanwhile, Thanos had to come in. Tatianos had to come in, right?
Ooh, Tatianos. What did he say?
Who? Tatianos?
Yeah,
But what?
in this movie.
What did he say?
Wasn't he the end credit in this movie?
Oh yeah, this is the one where he says, "No, I don't think that is. Is it?"
Oh, I'm like pretty far in. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My
Yeah,
bad,
dude,
stream.
you're in there right now. You clipped the legs and
I'm in
everything.
there. Jeez, my bad.
Um, and then he said, "How about you, Cap? Do you want the same thing? Do you want to live in a farm or wherever?" And Cap says, "The guy who wanted all that went in the ice 75 years ago." Oof.
Wow.
That's a little clue. He never talks about it. Cap never
Yeah,
talks to anyone about his
yeah.
inner
Is this
desires.
aspirations? This
Yeah.
yeah,
All
because
he
like it's
yeah.
over, right? You know.
Yeah. Dude,
Wow.
he didn't even tell anyone about Peggy, you know.
Yeah.
And no one knows about it.
True.
The only other clues was him going, "Is everything all right?" And he says, "Yeah, it's just I had a date."
I had a date. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
crazy, man.
That's sad.
Sam Wilson
Wow.
comes
That's
through.
why.
Yeah, sorry. That's why
That's
what?
why he was looking for Bucky. Because he's like, I gotta talk to you about this, bitch.
Yo,
I gotta talk to you about this
yo,
world.
you know how much tea I have? That's what he said to Bucky,
Yeah, yeah,
bro. Telling you right
yeah, yeah.
now.
That's why.
It's crazy. He's his only
That is
friend. He's the
why.
only guy. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Bucky was there. Like,
yeah,
yo, how's Peggy, bro? She must be banging now.
yeah.
It's like, bro, dementia, man.
Yeah. No. Oh, and Bucky's like, ooh, I gotta go assassinate someone.
So BRB.
Yep. Yeah, gotta dip.
Sam Wilson comes through at the end, I guess. Sadly, he didn't get to be part of the fight as much. But honestly, why does it matter? Right now, he's just like a weaker version of War Machine.
Well, like
Um,
way weaker.
and then the ending scene is Cap teasing us by not
Oh yeah.
saying assemble because he blue balled us. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the. I don't know. Your face is just like he just went like.
I was like nodding as well. I was like, wait.
You're like, is that the right term?
I
But it's
guess
true.
so.
You know, I wanted to hear the assemble, but
Yeah.
this man just Joss Whedon said no, not today.
Yeah.
Next time,
Next
baby.
time, baby. Yo, but it's a good payoff, you know. The
I think so.
the delaying of the gratification.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it didn't give us too much because I think that would have been like I'm saying it now, but back then I was like, man, that sucks. But like thinking about it now, that's like too direct. You needed something
Yeah.
more epic than that.
Hell yeah, come on.
I'm glad they held that off until the
That's all I
craziness.
think.
And he didn't even yell it, bro. He just whispered it.
Yeah.
Assemble.
Oh my god.
Like Panther was like, ah.
Like no one heard anything, but
Yeah.
T'Challa was just like, "Ah!"
Who who
And
was
then
who
every
was beside him? He's the only one that heard
yeah.
it. He's the only one that heard assemble. I think. I forgot.
Oh, who was it? Thor, maybe?
Something
Maybe
like
Spider
that.
Man.
Yeah.
So you hear Peter Parker go, "Yeah!" Dead.
Such a bad war cry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all right, to finish this off,
Oh
let's
my
run
god, I
through.
have to pee. Yeah. Holy crap.
Go, 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 go. We're gonna do a pee
No,
break.
finish it off.
I'll finish it off. There's okay. I'm
Oh,
gonna
you're
finish.
starting Ant Man?
No, no, no. I'm finishing off like the last set of
Oh yeah.
unnecessary details. You know,
Okay.
at the end, there's always like unnecessary details.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The twins are never called mutants; they're called enhanced because they
Yeah.
don't have the rights.
Right.
Stanley cameos as a veteran dude who drank too much of Grilda's ale.
Nice.
Pretty jokes. There are no strings on me is a subtle plug from Disney because this is their first movie
Yeah.
um, signing in, and it's a
Yeah.
song from Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Uh, Clint says you might have seen this before to Thor when trying to lift the hammer because he watched Thor do it in the first movie.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is what Thor
Yeah,
looked
I
like.
forgot
He
about
couldn't
that.
lift the hammer. Yeah, you might have
Yeah,
seen
but how
this
did
one.
he know?
How did he know what?
How did he know that Clint was watching him?
No, well, Clint's the one who told Thor, right? You might have seen this
Oh,
before.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
true.
when
Yes.
Ultron wakes up, it's in darkness and a tiny speck of light starts. This reflects the God complex that Ultron has throughout the whole movie. He always talks about, it's like in Genesis, first there was darkness and there's light,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and he always kind of refers to the Bible. When he got vibranium, he said, "On this rock I will build my
Oh,
church."
yeah.
And when confronted about killing the whole world by Wanda, he says, "Why don't you ask Noah?"
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot of biblical stuff,
Wow,
and mainly because he researched on that when he woke up.
that's crazy.
Um, Oh yeah, he says the final end game. Then he asks what's the plan to beat. Yep, Wanda kills Ultron the same way Obadiah Stane tried to kill Tony in the first movie by grabbing his heart. Except Tony survived and Ultron didn't. Tony calls Clint's kids smaller agents, and in one of Ultron's speeches, he says, "People create smaller people." This is a little reflection of how
Oh,
they
yeah,
speak is the same way.
yeah.
He said,
Smaller
like,
people.
yeah, this
Yeah,
is
interesting.
really.
Interesting.
Heimdall calls Thor Odin's firstborn son, another subtle foreshadowing that Hela was the firstborn,
Ah, ha, ha,
and
ha.
not Thor. Um,
Oh, that's so. Who's his Heimdall? Is he little bro?
I guess little bro Heimdall, little
Yeah,
Heimdall. That's his
yeah.
rap name.
The Dal.
Jocasta is Ultron's wife in the comics. Just a little ode, Easter egg. Um, Oh, so after Hulk's rampage, it was mentioned that Stark's Relief Foundation are on the scene, which gives us to hint that they kind of thought about all the damage that they do to the sea while trying to handle these
Yeah,
things, and foreshadowing that later on Tony owns damage control.
yeah,
Um, in I think Spider-Man, because that's the Vulture's job,
yeah.
and they're pretty much stuck with cleaning up after all the fucking battles, which
Right.
kind of sucks. Um,
Yeah, it's a business though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy.
this movie built up Natasha and Clint's friendship a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because we thought it was like romantic for a bit, kind
mhm,
of.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then this overall this makes the scene in Endgame that much more powerful when both of them had to, I guess, retrieve the Soul Stone, and one of them had to sacrifice themselves, and it's like,
Jesus. Why did they do that to us?
yeah, and it's like to Hawkeye,
Yeah,
he wanted to go because he got a second chance from
yeah,
Pietro. But Natasha's like, nah, this is mine. Don't take this away from me,
yeah.
bitch. You
Oh
gotta
my
let me go.
god,
And which he did.
that is
Um,
so sad. Oh,
The dude who deployed the lifeboats from the helicarrier to the city was the same dude who refused to launch the helicarriers in Winter Soldier.
nice. Good for him.
Yeah, I guess he's like, yo, I get to work for Fury
Same
now,
haircut?
and yeah, he looked like the chef
Nice.
dude from Ratatouille.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. But that's all the only useless Easter eggs I found and details. So what did you think of the
Nice.
movie? Is Ultron better now with the rewatch Infinity Saga,
It's
or
worse.
is
Worse.
when it comes to quality of the film as a movie, it's not very enjoyable,
No.
but it has redeeming factors. It looks pretty. If you want to watch a straight up action hero movie and don't care about substance, this might be it.
Yeah,
This is definitely one movie. But if
I
you
guess
want to
so.
feel some ways, probably not
No,
this one.
no.
Especially with the whole Natasha thing. So many poorly made
Yeah,
decisions here that they never. And I'm glad that they never continued on later. But what's the point of even starting it?
exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Because we didn't feel any type of way when she came back, or Hulk came back, and then Natasha was like, Bruce. And then
It's like, hi, Nat.
he's like, Hi, Net. Ugh.
That's it. You know?
Yeah, thank God that they didn't
hmm
expand on that.
Do you think Ultron is still alive?
Probably.
Mm,
It's possible.
right.
Because, you know,
In Homecoming, we did see an Ultron head as one of the rummages, and then his eyes were still glowing red.
oh, yeah. Shit.
In the comics, he goes up until Ultron 15. So yes, he does keep coming back. He does keep getting stronger.
Yeah,
And Ultron
awesome.
1 is the weakest, and maybe that's why he was pretty weak in this one. But we'll see. For me, personally, I enjoyed this film. I wouldn't say it's uh, the most powerful one, but it's not the best Avengers, but it's better than a lot of the standalone ones that we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, stream. Let us know what you think. If you like this movie, if you hate this movie, let us know what you think about our analysis. Things that we go too far, maybe things that the theories are too unreal.
Yeah, oh my God. I think they can play this whole thing with the movie on mute.
and, and go
Yeah.
for scene for scene. Yeah, we're pretty
Yep.
detailed when it comes to that. We want to make sure we're
Yeah.
giving you guys the best quality content,
Of
and
course.
we're not missing anything too stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'm all in on this stream. All in.
all in.
Got my
This is
life
a cross
savings on this.
counter combination attack. So before we get into Ant Man, we're gonna have a
It's
what
like a bathroom break.
yeah, 2 minute, 3 minute bathroom break,
All
and
right.
we go take a shit.
I gotta pee. All right. I'll
Yeah.
be back. I'm gonna need to buy snacks.
What kind of snacks are we talking here, buddy?
I don't know,
You
but
thinking what I'm thinking?
no.
What
Bubble tea? No. It's a work night. Damn. I
does
can't
that?
do
What
that
does that
shit.
mean? You can't get bubble tea on a work night?
No, no, I shouldn't.
Oh, okay. There you go. Oh
Yeah,
man, that's good. I mean, I wish they had like Dollarama Uber Eats. Wouldn't that be
they
like,
do.
God, do they?
Like here they
No,
do.
I don't
I
have
mean, it's
that
not
many.
Dollarama, but it's like
No, I want Dollarama, man. I want like
true, true, true.
frying pans and shit. The whole thing.
It looks
You know what I'm
frying
saying?
pan on demand.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Actually, I shouldn't because I'm fucking broke as fuck. Did your mic turn off when you were vaping? That was crazy.
Yeah. It's like noise, right?
It's senses it.
I sense it.
Oh, like in your arc reactor. Oh,
My
makes
arc
sense.
reactor in my mind.
Makes sense.
All
Makes a
right,
lot
we're
of sense.
clocking in now at an hour and 50 minutes.
Let's go.
So let's get through this, guys. All right, the next movie we're gonna talk about is
Oh
Ant
shit.
Man 2015.
Nice.
What are your opening thoughts about this movie? Were you
Oh,
excited
it's
about this
so
first time seeing it?
refreshing.
Was
I
this?
needed a whole comic relief
Yeah,
for that whole like
after Ultron.
previous. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
it was
I
pretty refreshing.
I agree with that. This movie is like literally breath of fresh air compared
Yeah.
to that. I guess that movie that was like claustrophobic. That felt
Yeah.
so like I was like it was caving in on me, all these issues and all this stuff. And this one is just like let's just
Yeah.
kick back and relax a little bit, you know.
Yeah. It's Paul
Uh,
Rudd.
it's Paul Rudd. This was directed by Peyton Reed. He directed films such as Bring It On.
Ooh,
Uh,
that's why there's flavor in this movie.
yep. He also directed The Yes Man with
I
Jim
like that
Carrey.
movie.
Yep. So it's like lighthearted, but at the same time really sentimental. So you get a really good taste of both. You know,
Yeah.
you could honestly watch this with kids, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This is such a
It's
good
a
movie.
family. It's a
It doesn't,
family
yeah, it
movie.
doesn't go too vulgar. It doesn't go too sexual. It's just
Yeah.
right when it comes to
Yeah.
comedy. The comedy is not too smart and it's not too dumb.
Yeah.
Everybody has fun. You know.
Yeah.
Um, and this was originally supposed to be directed by Edgar Wright. That's why it took years for this to finally get to being made. Unfortunately, there were some creative differences, and they had to let go of Edgar Wright. But there's a lot of his influence, like the fast cut shots, is still present in that. So if you're a fan of Edgar Wright, you definitely see a lot of that happening.
Who? What else did Edgar Wright do again?
Edgar Wright did like Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead,
Oh yeah.
um,
Okay. Yeah.
Baby Driver, World's
Nice.
End, stuff like that.
Nice. At World's End, Pirates.
No, sorry, The World's End, which
Oh,
was
the World's End.
yeah, the one where
Word.
Martin Freeman was in that one too, where they go on a bar, they go bar hopping.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so the opening scene is a young Pym. We get to see a
Yeah.
young
Oh,
Pym.
that's godlike. The fucking
Graphics on that.
deep fake. This is deep fake
Yeah, dude, this was
on the big
before
screen.
deepfake was like
Yeah.
popular. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
an older Peggy Carter.
Yep.
So a little
Yep.
bit of a thing there. And
Yeah.
they talked to Stark about them using his tech behind their back.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, he pulled out a bottle. It was a serum.
yeah. So this is, I guess, the
What was it?
Pym particles that.
It was a. It wasn't his particle though.
Oh, it was okay. So it was them trying to recreate his tech
It was a boot. Yeah, bootleg.
as a bootleg because they still don't have the formula for that.
Yeah. Pulling up some Paul Rudd over. There you go.
Why is it so zoomed in? What the fuck?
What?
So weird. Sorry. There we go. That's better.
Nice.
That's better.
That is better.
That's better. Stream, let us know if you know that reference.
Oh shit! I say
Back
that out
up.
loud to
Back
people.
the fuck up. Okay.
And I wonder if they get it, or I wonder if I fucking sound like a creep.
Yeah. A little bit of both. Little bit of both. Um,
Cool.
yeah, and then he reveals that he lost his wife due to it, which is why he doesn't want anyone else having the formula.
Yeah.
And he also slammed the dude's face.
That's the World
Uh,
Council guy, right?
yeah, he's part of Hydra. What we learn later on. Um, so this is already a little snippet that Hydra
Oh,
was already in the works of being sneaky,
yeah.
even during Stark's time. Stark is not necessarily pinned as a bad guy. It's just that Pym doesn't trust him because solely because Stark works with Shield, and so
Mm-hmm.
like he just doesn't want it to go into the hands of anyone that can make an army out of it and stuff like that. So it's not Stark as a person as an individual. It's just this association,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it was nice to see him and to integrate Stark Industries into the rivalry between him and Pym. Uh, Pym is a huge character in the comics. This guy is part of the first Avengers. He made Ultron, all that crazy stuff. So because of his controversial character from the comics, Marvel and Disney was hesitant on putting him on a big screen, which is why they chose to just make Scott Lang Ant-Man this arc or storyline at least instead of the original storyline of Hank being Ant-Man.
Wow.
Plus, it's just better. It works better this way
Why?
because
Why is it that it was controversial?
um, well, Hank Pym beat his wife. Um, a
What?
certain point, yeah, it was Janet
Like a
Van
lot?
Dyne. Well, it was like a one instance where he like backhanded her like across the room, and that kind of pinned him. And the movie kind of talks a little bit about how the particles react to your brain, and that's what the reason why Pym in the comics turned sort of into a bad guy. Like he turned into like some really dick guy that just like wanted power, much like how
Yeah.
Darren Cross in this movie was turning
Right.
into that. That
Yeah.
shows you like what it can do to you mentally.
I see.
So a lot of people are saying that Scott can't be Ant Man for too long, which is maybe why they made her his daughter grow up quickly to take the mantle faster, because these particles take a toll on your body. But it gets yeah,
Wow.
Henry Pym is a very famous man in the comics, but he's not here. It's not bad the way he portrayed him. So I agree with how he's. Who's the guy again? Michael Douglas, right?
Yeah.
Plays an excellent older Doctor Pym.
Amazing actor. I don't
Yeah,
know how they got Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd in the same movie.
yeah, dude. Like Marvel never pulls back any
Yeah.
punches when it comes to casting like
Yeah.
crazy roles. James Spader, we just saw him in the last one, right? Like
Yeah.
even like Andy Serkis as Ulysses Claw, that's a big
Yeah.
deal. I think that was his
Did you
first
know he
like.
was buff?
I didn't know that he was like he could play a character like that.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he was tough.
South African.
Yeah,
Uh,
like the
like,
Antwoord type of
oh my
like
god,
crazy.
what a character.
He was badass, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
He didn't die.
in this one he didn't die. Yeah, I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead. Stream, let
Don't
us
bring him
know what
back.
you think.
Don't
Let
bring him
us know
back.
it. Let us know what you think.
Come on, his body was brought to Wakanda.
Yeah, it was like an underwhelming death. You can't do that. That's like
Why did you have to bring his fucking body to Wakanda?
that. You wanted to prove to them that he killed the white man, right? But
Oh, but you
uh,
know what Wakanda's gonna do? Wake him up.
yeah, he's gonna be
Wake his
like
ass
he's gonna
up.
be
We got a
Hulk.
game to win.
He's um, we get introduced to Luis, which is one of the most hilarious characters ever added in the MCU.
Yep.
Um, and his first interaction alone in the van with a conversation sets up how he is as a character,
Oh
which
my
is just
god.
like not happy go lucky, but it's like, yes, his life isn't the best. He's an ex-con.
Yeah.
His dad got deported. His mom died. His girlfriend let him. We
But
got
you
the
got the
van,
van.
but I got the van though. Nice.
That face that he made. But I got the van though. Oh fuck. I know a guy
Uh,
like this.
yeah, I think everybody knows a guy like that, where it's just like living in the moment type of dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Baskin Robbins always finds out. I love that
Yeah.
little
They paid
thing
a
that they
lot
have.
to be in this movie, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. Come on. Paul Rudd?
Oh,
That's the
man.
best. Like just Google Paul Rudd Baskin Robbins
That's
deal.
true. Like he was full out uniform. Like this wasn't like a fake
Yeah.
product or a fake brand that they had to make. No, this was,
Yeah.
you know.
They kept saying it too.
He's like, damn, Baskin Robbins always finds out. And then
T.I. said it.
Ti's like, Baskin Robbins don't play. That's what he said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
They don't
man.
play
And
for
then
sure.
and then we get to meet Kurt and Dave, the other two members of their heist crew. Kurt is the computer guy,
Yeah.
and Dave is sort of the grease man, handling all the heavy labor stuff. And they're trying to convince Scott to do a job. And at this point, Scott is still pretty fresh off prison, even though
Yeah.
he just got fired from Baskin Robbins. He really wants to make sure that he gets his life together because of Cassie, right? It's
Yeah.
look good for his daughter. The fact that his ex-wife is fucking, he's with a cop, right?
Yeah, it's
Not
so
that guy.
ironic.
Not that guy. You know what I mean?
Why that guy?
Watch your language. What do you mean? I said hat. That's what he said.
Nice.
um, and
I
then
like that.
it cuts to Hank Pym going to the presentation that he's invited by Darren Cross,
Yeah.
and then we get to meet the villain of this movie, the bald man, Mr. Calbo himself, Calbs
Oh
galore, um,
God, so
Darren
shiny.
Cross, and he's pretty much
Yeah.
exposing Henry Pym in this one, telling
Yeah.
he's
What a jerk.
yeah, he's like, this is the Ant Man. This was real all along, you lying piece of shit.
Well, I found these plans buried in
Yeah,
your
in the
notes.
cobwebs in your notes, and you're keeping this tech away from us. And even though he found a way to shrink or demoleculize inorganic substances, he has yet to successfully do it on an organic level,
Yeah.
which is why the fucking lambs are turning into goo, and that's how he
Yeah.
killed the guy in the washroom.
Yeah.
And Hank's like, "Yo, bro, you don't want to do this. There's a reason why I fucking put that in there." You know what I'm saying? Darren Cost is like, "Nah, you just don't want money, man. You don't understand. I'm gonna do me."
we can
Yes, he said, "I'm
you
gonna."
we can cash in
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. And we already know the people that were in that presentation. It was the jackass dude from the
Yeah.
beginning of the movie. He was the Hydra dudes. You know what I mean? And one of the guys in there actually has a 10 rings tattoo on his neck. Um,
Ooh.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
a little Easter egg here and there, but it's mainly because of that dude. He said, "How's your face?" So he said, "That's what Hank said, right?"
Oh man, he slammed him. Do you see that?
Bam!
Whack! And it's
Yeah, that was like Joker's magic
bleeding.
trick in the
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't see it yet. Oh wait, I did. Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't know. I'm talking about the old one.
what's his face?
Michael J. White.
Oh my.
Yeah, yeah,
Is it
yeah.
Jai White or Jay?
Is it Spawn? That's his name.
Jai.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, so now we know that Darren Cross is gonna make an army of this, and Hank's like, I can't let him do that because the world's gonna go insane and it's gonna go to the bad people. Then it cuts into Scott going into his daughter's birthday, and then we meet the ex-wife, which is played by what's her name? Judy something. She's a very famous thing.
I
And then
forget.
the guy, the cop guy, he's pretty funny. I kind of like him.
Where's he from?
Um, he's well, I know him from Blue Jasmine. which is the
Which
movie with Kate Blanchett,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
he plays the boyfriend of Kate Blanchett's sister in that one.
Ah,
But other than that, I don't know him from
true,
anywhere
true,
else.
true.
But he plays like Judy Greer. There we go.
Right. Agree.
I just don't want to. I don't want you dating this asshat. He said language. I said what? I said hat. Stupid. Cross kills the guy with a shrink ray. That was pretty evil. That was pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
And
Was
just,
he taking the particles already at this point?
I'm not sure, but if he wasn't, then this is definitely a sign that he's already evil from the
Yeah.
beginning. He's a
Yeah.
scumbag, you know. Like from the
That's
beginning, you don't trust the guy. I don't even I
yeah.
don't know him from anywhere else, but he played a good job of being a villain because I hated him the moment
You
I
know.
saw him.
You know what it is? And I've had this done to me before. It's when like a guy comes up to you and grabs you like this, and like talks to you like that,
Yeah, yeah,
and you're like, "Oh, this is dirty.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This feels dirty."
Yep, yep. And he's telling you all this stuff about a pyramid scheme, and you're like,
Yeah.
dude, I really don't wanna. I'm not interested in. Yo, just hear me out, man. 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes of your
Yeah.
time.
It's like
Disgusting. You feel like you're molested.
you're like, yeah, and the grip gets a little tighter, and you're like, "Oh,
Uh,
okay." Oh. Whoa! It's
Ant
just
Man.
judo, like, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Just
Ant
Ant
Man.
Man him out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Bling.
Guys, let us know if you ever experienced one of those creepy guys. Because Darren Cross is definitely a creepy guy. I'm not too familiar with the comics if Darren Cross is an actual comic. Do you know if he's an actual comic book character?
No idea.
Okay. Well.
I don't know anything about the comics, to be honest with y'all.
That's good. Be honest, I don't know much. I stopped reading comics like when I was 20. So I
Oh.
know I'm 22 now, but you know. Wow. Disrespectful.
I'm dead.
Anyways, Scott caves in because he did some calculations, and it's literally impossible to pay off everything in time. And he asked Luis on the details for the job, and which is hilarious because we get to see one of the they called it the telephone game
Oh yeah,
sequences with the fucking bongos. Dude, I love that.
I love that.
Like that.
Okay, so oh,
They did the same thing with
oh
Thor
my
in that
god.
one when they zoomed in on
Oh
him
yeah,
with the fucking bongos.
yeah,
Um, and it's amazing how like Louis' character is like, it's not like to like. You like I like wine, right? We like wine tasting it better. Right? I like red, right? Red all the way. But like if I get like a good one, it's like
Luis.
even at the end where he's like, I was looking at some fine painting, and I was like, wow, that's surreal. Like he goes to such complicated and sophisticated events
Yeah,
for a guy who's an ex-con, which is just
yeah.
hilarious.
He's like, I'm more like a neo
Yeah,
abstractist.
it's like, wow, that was crazy.
The sublime, man.
um, and then we get to see Scott rob a place, and this is him without a suit. We get to see his skills
Yeah.
as a robber, and he does a little um, science thing with the
Nitrogen.
with the nitrogen. That was really
Yeah,
cool, and it tells you that Scott isn't necessarily dumb. Like he's clever, you know, but he's not like total airhead. When it comes to the work, when it comes to like the job, he
yeah.
knows what he's doing. Maybe for anything else, he might make some bad decisions, but when it comes down to it, Scott is a damn good
He's a
what's that
mechanic
called?
or
Cat
electrician.
burglar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he's good at tinkering stuff, and he even did the same thing with his suit and whatnot.
yeah,
Because when he grabbed the suit, when he tried to test it out, it wasn't just like grab the suit and put it on. He had to like do some technical
yeah,
computer shit to it, right?
yeah.
Which made it a little bit more believable as to like it's not just like a grab and go type of
Oh
suit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He had to be tested. Like it wasn't voltaged out properly, and he had
Yeah.
to like tune it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You had to do a button check on that one.
yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. Nice. He's like, click, 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 click.
He's like, oh, that's not it. That's not it. LMH is which one is the R2? Yeah,
LM.
there we go.
Click,
Got
click, 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 click.
it. It's like we're good. We're good. Clink, clink, clink.
Yeah, yeah.
Go back to character select.
Shit.
Then he goes on a little test run with Hank
Yeah,
Pym, doing, I guess, like
yeah.
communicating with him, in his head, and we got to see the first time the visuals of what it feels
Yeah,
like to be small,
yeah.
and they
I
did
like
it.
that.
They did it so well,
Oh
dude.
my god.
I think, like, as you as a photographer, that must have been something
Oh,
that you appreciated, right?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I know that tub was CG,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so believable because the depth of field and like the sound also reinforcing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that how
Yeah.
they incorporated Louise into it too. It's like he's like, turn. Why did he turn the shower on? Like,
Yeah. That's a weird ass way of like
yeah,
starting a shower. Of you turn the water
yeah,
on before you take off your
yeah,
clothes. Like, is that a thing?
yeah. I don't, I don't do that.
Latino
That's
people
fun.
probably do it a little bit differently.
That's
Shouts to
weird.
the Latino world. Uh,
Yeah,
what
you
is
gotta
what
let
is
it breathe.
what is that style called? Of like,
Uh, like it's like fisheye, but
hmm
I guess it's a new because a fisheye is like what 360 degrees or whatever. Yeah, it's
something like
just a
that.
very big. So yeah, it was like a fisheye kind of lens, but then you know, third person fisheye.
Yeah, it like warped a little bit according to like
Yeah, like the movement, it pans. So like
the focus shifts.
yeah,
Yeah, like according
yeah,
to, yeah, like what you would see in like normal. What do you call that again? Like macro photography,
yeah,
when they like like there's a bee, right?
yeah,
When they like shoot a bee or whatever, National Geo or whatever.
yeah. It's
Uh,
X.
I don't know much about that, but yeah, that was really impressive when it comes to visuals, and it wasn't just a dude in the CGI like green screen with like giant. It wasn't like Honey I Shrunk the Kids. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it wasn't that type. It was like much more. It was crazy. It
yeah,
just looked so sick. Yeah.
yeah. It's like a scale that hasn't really been seen in other movies before.
Hmm.
Like you
Hmm.
know,
No one has touched like shrinking people in
yeah,
so long.
in modern like CG, and this is like the modern CG at the time
Oh yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah,
They picked a good ass time with technology to
yeah,
like
yeah. And pick the
execute this.
story. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
nice,
Um,
nice.
and
Good
then the
call.
whole
Good call.
thing where he like goes to the club, he goes through the cracks,
Yeah.
um, and he falls on the
Oh, that was
car.
crazy.
Like that was like all like the visuals,
Yeah,
dude. Like he almost got stomped in like the party
yeah,
scene. Like that was crazy, dude.
yeah. Oh my god. Like,
And you also see how durable he is as an ant, as
yeah,
a small person. The fact that he
yeah.
doesn't get hurt, because that's what the Pim was about talking about, right? It was like,
The density, increasing density, and like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
um,
like
while shrinking the molecule.
keeping the
So
density. So technically, for Scott, like he still has the density of a grown person, but the size of an ant, which makes his
yeah,
punches like extra powerful
yeah.
and
That's
stuff like
crazy.
that. Yeah, pretty crazy,
It's crazy.
crazy
Yeah,
power. Like,
yeah.
and then he
It's a
gets.
weird power.
It's a weird power, definitely, which is why he's like, even then, even with Darren Cross, he's like, he's the Ant Man. He like chuckles a little bit because it's silly, man. If you think
It
about it,
is
it's
silly.
silly.
Yeah.
And Scott freaks out and he returns it, and then that's when he goes to jail because
Right.
he wasn't stealing anything, he was just returning something he stole. Um, and then the whole escape scene with the ants bringing him, uh, it was so quirky and it's so cheesy, it's corny, and I love how they integrated the ants into this movie because that was my number one fear. Was like, man, Ant Man is cool, but the fact that he talks to ants is a little lame. Because in the comics, it
Oh
was
no.
in the comics they just gave him scenarios where the ants would sort of be useful. But in this one, I like how they had different types of ants,
Yeah.
and they were actually useful
Yeah.
overall, like
Yeah.
throughout the whole heist.
It's actually accurate as well, right?
Like the species that they
Yeah.
chose. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Like I was watching a special for some reason about ants that would clump together when
Mhm.
they have to survive a flood. And
Oh
then I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
where did I see that before? And then I saw this movie. I'm like, holy shit, that's
yeah,
the documentary.
yeah. They form like
Yeah,
a group. They kind of like
yeah,
creates its own water tension, and it's like a
yeah,
fucking life
raft.
raft. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Because if individual, this is why ants are like known for being an army.
Yeah,
You know, like working together and stuff like that. Just because like individually they would all drown, but as a unit they would have
yeah.
enough to like create buoyancy, which is nuts,
Ooh, yeah.
right?
Yo, shout outs to Ants, the movie.
Shout out, yeah, shout out Woody Allen. You know, Sylvester
Yeah,
Stallone was in that one.
I can't believe that
Yeah,
was about Woody Allen. Like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
He yeah, he voiced, and I think J Lo voiced the princess on that one. Uh,
Terrible,
yeah,
terrible casting.
A Bug's Life was better. Anyways,
Yep, and more
um,
compelling.
and it's sad because like we get to see all the ants in here, but we never get to see ants later on. You know,
Yeah,
in Civil War he didn't use the ants,
yeah.
in Endgame he didn't use the ants. So it's like, uh,
Oh, maybe there were ants in the final battle, but I don't know.
stop! I'm dying right now because you're like,
We have to check.
we
We have
don't
to
know,
check.
because you know we have to
We'll take
zoom in
note.
pretty. Yeah, you know what? I
We'll
think
take note.
in one of the things we see Thanos, he's like, "Ow!" and he like takes something from
Uh,
his neck. So I think maybe maybe that was where the ant was.
I'll have the
Scott mentions
wow.
maybe calling the Avengers for this problem, which is pretty funny because a lot of us would have probably thought about the same thing. Um, but Hank is still worried about Stark or anyone related to Shield to get to the tech,
Yeah.
and he said he's too busy dropping cities out of the sky. Oof,
Wow.
oof. You just,
Resentment,
yeah,
and he
he's,
doesn't even know the guy.
yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
He just knows that that's his son,
That's
and
his son.
he's
A
a
Stark is
dick.
always a Stark, right?
Yeah. Wants us. Who are you again?
Uh,
Uh,
he's like, come
Pim
on, man,
told me.
come on, man.
Pim told me that once a star.
Always a Stark. Never trust a Stark. Who are you
Oh
again?
yeah.
Come
Oh,
on,
that's
man.
such a godlike comeback. That's a champ thing.
Oh yeah, this is my game. That's what he said.
Yeah. Come on, like I run this whole thing. I made the raft.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Um, Hope and Hank argue, and he yelled at her like Loki a little bit because she was really adamant on wearing the suit, man. She wanted the suit. She's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, this is my shit. Do you
Yeah.
understand?"
I was born for this, she
But
said.
he couldn't tell her that, "Yo, your mom's gone because of that." You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Your mom's sweet ass. I can never grab it no more. That's what she said. That's what he said.
That's Michelle
That
you're
was
talking
Michelle
about.
Pfeiffer. Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. That's
fight.
Catwoman.
Jeez.
Uh,
Oh, what a godlike movie. That was a godlike Batman.
that was a godlike Batman. We
Oh,
need to analyze that one
I
definitely.
want. Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to see that one again.
all the Batman, all Batman,
Oh yeah,
definitely. You know,
Batmandems.
Batmandems. That's a joke.
That'll be the title of the series.
Oh man, Batmandems rewatch analysis.
Yeah,
Um, Training sessions on drinking, fighting, and controlling ants. Really cool scenes, in my opinion. We get to see the little discs that they throw to make things bigger or smaller,
yeah,
the different types of ants, how to control the suit, how to fly with an ant, with the flying things, and pretty much them getting ready um, for the heist to get rid of the yellow jacket. So right now they're just hoping that Darren's not gonna find a way to shrink organic matter yet because they're still getting ready. And then we learned that Janet Van Dyne died or died because she went subatomic to disable a nuclear rocket.
it's crazy. She didn't hesitate.
Yeah, she went in
Yeah,
for it, much
yeah,
like how Scott didn't hesitate in the end to
yeah,
save his daughter, and he went
yeah.
subatomic, right?
Gotta
Um,
go.
But this was, I think, from the start we already knew that she wasn't dead because Marvel likes to, whenever there's no body or wherever it's
Yeah,
like somebody disappears,
yeah,
they're usually
yeah,
not dead. So
yeah. No funeral. We need to see a funeral with everyone in it, and the music has to be right.
yeah, because yeah, if there was no funeral at the end of Endgame, Tony Stark's not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If the music was just like mysterious and shit, it
yeah,
would
and
be like
there's like,
reviving at
yeah.
the scene, like, ah, I'm alive.
Although if they do bring back Stark, I was pretty pissed.
Yeah,
Like at least
yeah. Stay
uh,
dead.
Ant Man has to go retrieve a thing from a Stark warehouse, which is surprise, surprise, is now the Avengers base, and he
Oh yeah,
faces off against Falcon.
yeah,
Pretty jokes that he has to go against a bird, which is one of the things that ants get eaten by.
yep.
Um, and you could see him. It was a pretty funny interaction. I love that interaction of Sam Wilson,
Yeah,
and he fucked him up in the same way that he fucks up Tony in Civil War by going in his backpack. His bird costume. Bird
yeah.
costume? Really? I didn't write that.
You
uh,
did. Is that in your notes?
uh, yeah, in Civil War.
Dead bird costume.
And then he crosses up security, cross ups the security, and then now Scott Lang said, "We need a bigger team." So he said, "No, not those wombats, not those three wombats."
You called them a wombat. What does that mean?
He said, "Thank you, ma'am. It's not every day that you rob a place and you get invited in, like we just robbed you."
So jokes.
Pretty jokes.
They showed him how the suit works,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
man,
yeah.
Louise's reaction was like, "Whoa."
It's like, this is the work of the gypsies. That's what Kurt said.
That was crazy. That guy was a terrible character. It was like an actual caricature in the movie. He needed to dial down a little bit,
Yeah,
like less.
yeah. He was definitely like he was a cartoon character. Like you could draw him.
Yeah.
uh,
What's that monster that he kept referencing?
but I don't know.
The yeah,
Baba Yaga?
the
Did he say
Baba
that?
Yaga.
Did
Yeah,
he say that? I can't even
yeah,
remember.
Baba Yaga.
So technically, this movie is a heist movie, right?
Yeah,
The heist commenced. Their goal is to pretty much get the yellow jacket out of there
yeah,
and destroy it and anything that has to do with the formula, which is the whole facility. Everyone has their roles. Obviously, Kurt is the fucking computer guy. Dave drives the van. Luis is now a security guard.
yeah,
Ant Man is going to infiltrate through the sewer system. Hope is still Darren's assistant, and Hank is there because he's invited to the presentation. Um, so everything's supposed to work out, but then again, it doesn't because then the cops come and Darren's project turned. He saw it coming and he trapped
yeah.
them in the thing.
That's crazy. How did you expect that?
Yeah, like he knew all along,
He
which was
read
like,
it. He's like, that's where they'll be.
yeah, that was like when you like when I dash and you're like Tron, you're like anti-air, like you read it. You're like,
The gun,
this is
actually,
the gun.
the
This is the
anti-air gun.
yeah. That was like I was a Bible and you read it.
I never read that stuff.
And yeah, Darren read fucking Pim like a Bible, and I think he got shot, right? Pim got shot in that one.
Yeah, Pim got shot,
Hmm.
and we're like, oh my god, he's dead. Yeah,
Yeah, and he was like, the particles are reacting. It's like, you know what? No, 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 you're right. I have to be the one that kills him. Like this guy's crazy. This guy's nuts.
so nuts.
And they go. It just goes into like 0 to 100 from there on. I like the fact that they used the ants to plant small little C4s and they turned it big
Oh yeah,
into the
that was sick.
system.
That was sick.
Yeah. Um, Luis being a security guard is like,
He's
"Can I
like,
whistle?"
don't whistle. And I saw no
and he
to
whistled.
blend in.
Yep. And what did he whistle?
The fucking
It's
Eddie
a
Griffin.
it's a small world after all,
Oh yeah, true, 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 true.
which is a Disney song. That's the Disney
Yeah,
plug in this song, in this movie. Um,
Pinocchio again.
yeah, really hilarious.
Yeah,
Um, and then they fight. They go into the helicopter. That scene, the helicopter, is when he suits up into Yellow Jacket, and we finally get to see the power of lasers and pretty much the same thing as Ant Man, except the suit is like sturdier, right? It's like new tech.
yeah. It's got it seems like arc reactor capability,
Yeah, like pure
like
energy. Like he can fly, right?
fly and blast,
Yeah,
and
laser
somehow
blast,
have a lot of like ammo, like almost unlimited. It's like
unlimited.
fucking
Yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah. I don't think he had ammo. I think it was just like recharging on its own type of
Yeah,
cooldown type of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pew
They fight
pew.
in Cassie's bedroom,
Yeah,
which was like one of the funnest looking fights ever. He had an army of ants and Thomas the Tank Engine.
so
You know,
jokes.
he turned one of the ants huge, and the fucking partner's like, "That's a messed up looking dog."
Oh shit.
Shout outs to that actor, man. He was
Yeah.
the one of the main guys in the Remember the Titans, and I fucking love that movie
Oh
so
really?
much. Yeah.
Shit. Wow.
Um,
Well, look where they are now. That's a messed up looking
that's
dog.
a messed up looking dog. So much good
Yo,
lines in this movie.
man, the way that they played the cops is like so classic of the '90s cops.
Duo, yeah,
Yeah,
duo, yeah. Even
I like that.
like fucking Dave and took their fucking cop car. It's like, are you kidding me? They had to go get it. And then Luis like runs away. It's like, hey, stop. It's like, what? I can hear you. There's a it's just fucking
It's just-
they're just fucking around with him, dude. I love it.
what do you say? There's a chopper going. Like,
Oh yeah, there's a chopper. I can't hear you. He just leaves.
he backs up.
Oh yeah, when he gets to Scott Lang's house, right, it's like, come on, we gotta help them. We gotta be there for the team. And then all the cops are just like, just back it up. Just back up.
Yes, back.
Yep,
Yep,
just back up.
back it up.
um,
Dead.
Scott Lang doesn't hesitate because he was about to kill his
Yeah.
daughter and shrinks into subatomic, and he
Oh,
does like a
sticks.
3-hit combo towards those
Yeah,
fucking power lines or whatever.
yeah.
And the first thing that shrinks is the guy's arm. And this is the amputation for this movie.
Ooh, oh.
Uh,
Still phase two.
I believe so. We're still in
Say,
phase two. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's the end. Yeah,
yeah. The amputation in Age of Ultron was Claw when
yeah.
he got
True, very
triggered and
true.
he
Yeah,
sliced his hand off.
yeah,
But yeah, so now we get to see Quantum Realm. This is why this movie also expanded the MC universe in the other way, in
yeah,
the shrinking way. Just for people that don't know, the Quantum Realm is another type of universe, much like the cosmic universe that Marvel dives deep into in the comics. And we're definitely just seeing, like, we don't know much about it here. Yet, even after the saga, we know that Janet Van Dyne was in there, and that what's his name? You could use it for time travel. Other than that, it hasn't really been explored as the other worlds located in it.
yeah.
Right?
That city,
Yeah.
that titty. Yes, this is my titty. This
Yeah.
is my city.
This is my titty. Um, and then he
It's your
goes,
city, Carter.
he goes super fucking shrink, dude.
Yeah,
And
he went all in.
he's like fucking going crazy.
Yeah,
Took one of the discs, put it in his, I don't know what it's called, belt reactor,
yeah.
and he
His
turned back
transponder.
yeah, it's his transponder, his 407 transponder, and he reverted back, and this was never done before, and I
Yeah,
guess this gave Hank hope.
yeah.
Hope,
Ooh, Hank Hope.
Hank hope,
Ooh,
hope that his wifey, his bae,
yeah,
is still alive,
yeah.
and since time and space are irrelevant in the quantum, it is quite possible that
Slow.
she would still be alive. right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say that was 20 years. That's 20 hours, right? Because Scott wasn't there for 5 years, and he said I was there for 5 hours.
Five. Yeah. Wait. You said 5 years that he was in the quantum realm?
Yeah, because
Right.
that
Oh
was the
yeah.
time jump, right? Yeah.
Ooh, so he got a shorty that's 20 years younger. Wow. Hank Pym.
I think that was from the start. He knew.
He's a player. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be a player no more. I'm not a
Said,
player. I just crush a lot.
"Don't stop, get it." That's what he said, right?
uh, but yeah. Well, did he even have that tech that like to shrink other things?
Who?
Like those bullets back then, because otherwise
Ah,
Janet would have definitely
right. Yeah,
like
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
because he didn't have that before.
Yeah, maybe that tech didn't come until later, and he didn't know that could be used to.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Well, that's pretty extreme too, because um, for the blue thing to expand him to from quantum realm to normal human size,
yeah,
that would have taken like a lot, right?
yeah. But I think he used the belt to amplify it, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
That makes sense.
that's
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
and
Oh
it's
wait,
smart for him to do that.
right? Actually, wait. So the blue thing makes things
Bigger,
bigger, and the
yeah,
red thing makes things smaller,
yeah.
and the blue thing is a new like him uh,
You're
thing.
right. Yeah,
It's a
because
It's a secret Pym thing because he had the tank ready with that blue thing.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he hasn't really messed around with enlarging himself, right?
Or
Because remember,
well, they
Scott was
did.
like, well, they did enlarge things, but like him as a person, he never
Yeah,
really tried doing it. Or maybe the
but
Goliath
no
project. Yeah,
Goliath.
yeah.
Oh. So
Ah,
like they mentioned that in Iron Man 2,
yeah, Project Goliath. Yeah, you're right.
Project Goliath, yeah.
Yeah. So this was definitely in there already, but I guess
Yeah.
they just never put it two and two together.
Yeah. Because they never knew that you could shrink, and they never knew it was Hank Pym. It's probably this other scientist. Interesting.
Guys, we're learning a lot about the quantum realm and
Yeah,
quantum physics in here. This is actual, I could take a test on quantum physics, and
I could be a quantumator right now. Quantumator? Is that
is that a thing?
quant? Dr. Quantum? Yo, that would be a sick hero name.
Dr.
Dr.
Quan?
Quantum.
Oh, fuck. What
Yeah.
do? I quantumize. What does that
Yeah.
even mean?
Well,
If you have to ask, you don't deserve to know.
oh, I'm
Dr.
dead.
Quantum out. He didn't do anything.
Didn't I?
Um,
Bling. Oh, I hate
but
this
yeah,
cat so much.
it's a happy ending. Yellow Jacket dies. The formula for
Oh
the
man.
Yellow Jacket is gone, but one of the Hydra agents did steal a bottle. I don't know if they're gonna continue on with that or not, but
Yeah, that's what
uh,
I also noted.
hmm.
Weird.
Um, and happy ending. The cop boyfriend, his ex-wife's boyfriend, vouched for him, and he said, "You
Yeah.
know what? You're a good guy, Scott.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad." I like
Well,
that. You know.
you see a guy fucking turn small and then large, and you saved your life from like an evil
Yeah,
villain.
yeah. You better vouch for this. You better fucking
Yeah,
have this guy's
bail
back.
this
Yeah, bail this man out, man.
bail this dude out. Like
Um,
that's the least you could do. You're raising his daughter, fucking his ex-wife.
wow, being
Like,
an
give a
asshat.
guy. This guy worked at Baskin Robbins. Give a guy a break.
Oh man.
Yeah,
The end scene is just another detailed explanation from Luis, which was hilarious, and uh, which Spider Man was sort of mentioned, right? Uh,
oh web,
yeah,
yeah,
and
web crawlers. Because yeah,
this is also where Falcon is looking for him to help in Civil War. So this is
oh
why.
yeah, it's got like.
I need a guy. What you got? Right? Nah, I need a guy who shrinks.
I'm looking for a guy that shrinks. That's funny.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. Um, The mid-credit scene is Hank giving Hope the wasp soup,
God, like,
which is about damn time.
yeah,
Uh, and then maybe this is because now he has a little bit of faith that his wife might still be alive, and that going into quantum realm or subatomic
yeah,
isn't necessarily a death sentence, you know.
oh,
And it's like now that they're on the same mindset, right? Like you know how I lost your mom, be
yeah,
safe, and yeah, we're
good,
passing down the mantle on you, type of thing. And pretty cool. I like her. I like Evangeline Lilly
yeah,
in this movie, and Shorty's fine.
yep, yep. She can fight. She actually is like so much more qualified, and it showed like
Yeah,
throughout the whole movie. She's like, "Why I gotta train this fucker?" Like
this fucker. Yeah,
this fucker.
but he explains it well. I'm expendable. You mean too
Yeah,
much to Hank.
that's true.
As harsh as it was, and it's crazy how like Scott knows that and
Yeah,
acknowledges it, and he knows
yeah,
his place. Makes him like a hero in that sense, because like he also wants to make sure that this family doesn't lose any more people, right?
yeah.
Um,
Wow, good guy,
yeah.
Scott.
And then the secret ending is we see Bucky. It sets up
Yeah.
for Civil War,
Oh yeah,
and it ends with him saying, "I know a guy,"
yeah,
which is what, which is what Pym says to fucking Hope, and he's
yeah.
necessarily pretty much that's his status as a person in the MCU is just that dude. You know what I
A
mean?
guy.
Yeah, it's like yo, I know a guy. Like he's
Yeah,
that guy that he's a little shady.
yeah,
He's a little out there, but he
yeah.
means well, right?
He's the first guy you bought weed from,
Yeah,
and has
yeah,
other resources.
shout out to Daniel, man. Hope you're good.
Oh my god.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you're like, yo, Daniel, like, do you know anything about stolen bikes? He's like, yeah, why? Because
Oh
I'm looking
man.
for mine.
Oh man. I stole your honey like I stole your bike. Um, uh,
Wow.
and it's like, sorry, what was I gonna say? Yeah, he's that guy, and he's criminal. Sucks. And Cap's like, well, Scott, I appreciate you helping, but if you go with us, you're the other side of the law in this one. You're gonna be a criminal. He's like, eh. He's like, what else is new? Cap has no
No,
idea that Scott like this is his
no,
shit. This is
no,
you know what I mean? To
like
him,
now.
this is a Tuesday.
No.
um,
What's the job?
yeah,
He's
exactly. What's the
he's
job?
the guy that goes, "What's the job?"
Yeah, he didn't even care. It's like something about like psycho assassins or something. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
care.
Captain
Um,
America needs my help.
hmm um, all right, so time for some useless, missable details, guys. Hope you bear with us here. Opening scene: Stark says to Pym, "I thought you were supposed to be in Moscow." Maybe that'll come up in later movies like Black Widow, since it
Yeah,
dives into the past. We'll get to see him there doing his business. I don't know what he's doing in Moscow, but
yeah.
could be a Winter Soldier thing because that's when
Hmm.
they excavated him from the thing and stuff. Uh,
Right.
in the beginning, when Scott got out of prison, and he says he got the black eye from the dude in the what's that going away party or
Yeah.
initiation thing.
The
And
ritual.
yeah, the ritual Louis said, I'm still the only one to knock the big dude out. And
Yeah.
later on, knocks out two guards with one punch.
Actually, yeah, he's
Yeah, so
strong.
he wasn't bullshitting when he knocked the guy
Yeah.
out. I believe
Yeah.
him because he knew those fast. Just like, pop! He just knocked them out.
He's like, I'm the boss.
Yeah, remember that? Where he's like, yeah, that's right. And he's like, oh, professional. Yeah, here you go, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And he pulls him out of the fucking wreckage because he feels bad.
he's like, oh, he's like, shit, that guy. Um, Darren Cross says Tales to Astonish, which was the comic title when Ant-Man debuted in
Wow.
1962. Tales to Astonish. Crazy.
Wow.
In the beginning, when Hope wanted to do the mission, uh, oh yeah, I already said that one. Scott talked about missing so much time to spend with his daughter because he was in prison. This happens again when he gets stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years. So Scott can't get a break. He just keeps losing time with his daughter over and over again.
Oh my god. Wow. It's all about time.
Yeah. The quantum realm is called the microverse in the comics. This is because it's from Fantastic Four, and during that
Wow.
time, Fox owned Fantastic Four.
Uh-huh.
It's okay. I mean, they can change the name, whatever. We know what it
Yeah.
is. Um, Scott leaves his daughter's birthday and honks the horn. This horn becomes one of Scott's iconic tropes in the MCU. Does anyone see? Does anyone see a brown ugly van? So good. That thing has a fucking quantum realm reactor in it. Like
It's
what a van,
godlike.
dude. Yeah, it's a godlike van, dude.
Yeah.
Um, yep. Ant Man is attacked by a rat when he did a test run on his suit. In Endgame, it's the one that saved them from the quantum realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Next reach. Uh huh.
Ray's like, man, can I? What strain are you smoking?
Oh my god.
Still a connection, I think.
I'm so surprised.
Oh man.
I'm like Scott right now in the picture. I'm like, huh? I didn't know that this existed.
When Scott enters the dining area after he escapes, Pym asks if you met his daughter Hope, and he says, "I did. She's great." Same line is used on Scarlet Witch in Civil War.
Oh yeah.
I know too. You're great. The laser sounds from the yellow jacket is the same ones from the AT-ATs in Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe.
Cool. Yeah, it
Is
is.
it?
Yeah.
That
If you
guy
like,
like.
if you listen to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, okay. Here's one. When Scott went to talk to Hope in the car, he got in and said, "You really gotta lock your doors. Some crazy people out there." Later on in the movie, Darren Cross comes into the house and he said, "Cause your door was unlocked, Hank."
Uh-huh.
Guess it's a family thing of them leaving their doors unlocked.
White people.
Absolutely, man. But then it's
Even in
also,
San Francisco? Are you dumb?
yeah, no, near the Bay Area, you wouldn't want to do
Yeah.
that. E40 might come through,
Wow.
like Ghost Ride the Whip.
Wow.
Um,
I can't believe that's the one guy.
yeah, that's the one guy that
E40.
E40.
Poor
Ooh.
guy.
When
I know some.
When Scott discovers the Stark warehouse is now the Avengers base, the theme song plays for like a couple of seconds. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 like something like that. The Avengers theme, pretty dope. Um, okay, when they're fighting, uh, when Scott and Darren Cross were fighting, he said, You think you can stop the future with a heist?"
Yo. That's godlike.
What did they do in Endgame?
Oh my god. That's crazy.
That's pretty. That's pretty. That's like power of the gods thing again,
Oh
where
my
it's
god.
like
Holy shit. That's crazy, stream.
that's what Scott did in the end, in the end game. Uh,
So does that mean that you know how like Civil War was an Avengers? It was a Cap movie, but it was an Avengers movie.
technically, like
Yeah.
meet up, yeah, team up wise, yeah.
So does that mean that the Avengers movie, the End Game, is Ant-Man's movie? Because it starts with him.
Oh,
First of all, it starts with him, and we get to see him like go back into the world. So there's an arc there, right?
yeah, it did focus on him a lot.
Yeah. and then Cassie Lang, and at the
Dude,
end,
he was integral in the heist, dude. Honest, there
yeah.
wouldn't be a heist without him.
And it's a heist movie, so it's his movie. It's an Ant-Man movie. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, my spine just tinkled. Like
Because
that's crazy.
I wouldn't say it's a Tony movie because he had like the sacrifice and the the time travel thing. But
Yeah,
overall,
overall, dude, it's a heist movie. If
it's
like
a heist movie.
overall, the heist there literally happens like eighty
Yeah,
percent of the movie,
yeah,
and
that's
the
crazy.
whole thing revolves around it.
Yeah,
Even how Thanos came in to Earth at the end, it was because he reverse engineered
yeah.
like
Hank
the
Pym's.
tech,
Yep.
yeah, for the heist.
Hmm.
Yo,
Dude, it's an Ant-Man movie. That's crazy. Only at PBC.
guys, guys, let me know if you guys hear this from anyone else, man. Because all the
Come on.
theories that you guys hearing out there are all weak. There's no logic. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? The ones that you hear might be a little bit of a reach, but you know.
This guy's rolling weed for sure.
How do you?
I can hear it.
Okay, do you?
Yeah.
How do you hear rolling weed,
Rolling papers.
guys? How do you know I'm not writing a parchment? I'm not writing a scroll.
Signed with my saliva.
Yeah, that was my the crest on the ring with the hot wax. That's what I do. Um,
Nice. It's
okay,
hard ass candy.
Stan Lee cameos as a bartender here at the end when he goes, check out that girl I'm with. She's super fine, right? She's
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, super fine.
Nice.
um, when Scott runs through the new building design, this could be an ode to Zoolander's Center for Ants.
What?
Right? Because
Oh my god.
for Derek Zoolander's Institute for Kids Who Can't Learn and again read.
And spell good or read. Who can't read good? What is this? Center for ants.
um, what I got from this movie is about passing the torch. A lot of it is
Yeah.
handing down the mantle of Ant Man, and as well as handing down the mantle of Wasp to
Wasp. Yeah.
his daughter.
Yeah.
And the fact that he kind of like uh, counterparts or rivals Tony. Tony does the same thing later on with Spider Man and all the other ones that decide to pass the mantle down. Even Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, gets passed down the power of Marvel from an entity.
True.
So, uh, yeah, this is definitely something, and it might be a theme for the Ant Man universe, which is why Cassie Lang is now older,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
might see some crazy shit with that.
Yeah. Why did they set her up?
Um, she is something. She's called Stature in the comics,
Right.
which is
What does
just
she do?
another. She just
She
grows
grows
big.
big.
Yeah.
Nice.
But what else can you really do with this power, right? Other than like do some crazy shit size wise.
I don't know. Like grow big vegetables. Save world hunger. It's the first thing I was like when they were like Tony or Hank. Let me use this. Let us use this technology. I'm like, yeah, you could grow some big ass cows, make some steak.
Well, that's what the movie Food of the Gods was supposed to be about.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, he wanted to make money off like agriculture and making big shit. Yeah, I mean that would mean no longer keeping the formula to yourself, and that would mean commercializing the formula, which is
Yeah,
something that Pym ultimately does not want to do. I mean, if
yeah,
he has the time to make his own giant crop area and be a humanitarian himself, he can.
yeah,
But definitely, that's something good that you can do with that tech is
yeah.
creating more food for the world.
But actually, now that I think about it, if you have it in the hands of just anyone, and things started becoming big that are unnecessary, and
Yeah,
like, you know,
Yeah, dude. Like fucking,
It would ruin the scale of the world actually if it fell in the wrong hands because
this type of technology is dangerous. Think about it. Like
yeah,
towards anyone, whether you're a criminal or not criminal, whatever your
yeah,
desire may be, it's possible if you just have this
yeah,
tech. Because growing
yeah,
small, infiltrating, or growing big and overpowering are
yeah.
two completely crazy weapons that people
It
can use.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is crazy,
because
man.
sustainable energy is one thing because you need the tech to actually like the lasers and the guns and the
Mhm.
sustainable energy is one thing,
Mhm.
but that power of like size is
Oh,
just
that's a whole
unheard
different.
of. Like,
Yeah, which is crazy how like we finally get to see this tech integrated later on, and the
yeah,
other Avengers finally get to see this technology in fruition, and the the fucking reactions are hilarious,
yeah.
especially in Civil
So
War when they all interact with each other. Where it's like they don't necessarily question how it's happening; they're just shocked
yeah,
and amazed that it is happening, right?
dead. Yeah,
Because like yeah, Spider Man is another thing that people have. Like he also has powers and stuff like that, but Ant Man is a different type of like craziness. You know,
yeah.
everyone's got a
Um,
gimmick now. That's what.
so true.
That's what.
There's a Spider-Man and an Ant-Man.
There's a Spider Man and an Ant Man. What do you mean? Like, broke up like the Beatles? I thought like Bruce was just like so out of it.
It's like, what the hell just happened? Like,
Yeah,
it was just me, you, Romanoff, fucking Thor.
yeah. That was the last thing he remembered, right? It's
Yeah,
crazy how like his first reaction is like, "You gotta call Steve. You gotta call the Avengers."
yeah,
Tony, he's like, "It's gone. It's disbanded." It's like, what? Like to him, that's like crazy.
yeah,
But to Tony, it happened a while back, bro. Like
yeah.
that shit.
And it was deep. Like, first God is the deep.
Oh wow, yeah, it's
Baby, I
true.
know.
It's
uh,
true. It's true. Steam. I mean, stream. The first
yes,
cut
deep.
is the deepest. Um,
Oh, shit.
especially
The
when it
creep.
comes to love and Ant Man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, what did you think? Did you like this movie now a lot more? Does it stay the same?
Yeah. Nah, I'd rewatch it again, actually. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. That's the
Yeah.
best part of this movie. I actually like it a lot better than number two, but
Yeah.
we
Me
have
too.
yet to rewatch number two, so maybe it'll be a little bit better later on. But this one definitely took the cake, took me by surprise. Um, Stream, let us know if we missed anything, man. If there's anything, any Easter eggs, any details, any callbacks or references to past movies or future movies after this one, we'd like to know. And then we'd like to not know. So I want you guys to uh, write it down on a piece of paper and then get a lighter and burn it. 'Cause I don't
No.
care. I don't care,
Yeah,
Stream.
we don't really care. I just need to make this so I can write it off my taxes and claim a loss, a
Yep.
big loss.
Yep. Yep.
The more hours we spend
Yep.
on this, the less they tax me, the
This,
happier
I can declare bankruptcy after this.
for
I'm
sure.
gonna go outside the window and just be like, I declare bankruptcy.
That's how they did it back then.
Michael, you can't just say you declare bankruptcy.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. But
Come
stream,
on, man.
let us know what you guys thought about the two movies, and we're not even close to the end yet
Oh my
of our
god.
MCU rewatch Infinity
Yeah.
Saga. Um,
What's next?
the next two movies that we're going to be watching is Captain America: Civil War, and of
God, yeah.
course the main man himself, Doctor Stephen
Oh my
Strange.
god. God, like.
We're gonna have to see some
Ooh.
dishwasher gloves, some
Oh my
impact
god.
palm, some
Flames of the
was it daggers of
flames.
the neck,
Daggers at the neck.
eye of
Yep.
avocado.
Yep.
Obviously, you
Oh
already
my
know that,
god.
and I think that's the what's the other one that he has? That's the lightning, the bolts,
A
the
bolts of
bolts
ball
of
sack.
yeah. There we go. The
Balls of ball sack.
the bolts of ball sack. Really good beam
What a
assist.
crazy character.
Yeah,
Balls
and
of
you might
balls.
see me play him Steam. I mean stream. Never
Whoa.
know, because
Whoa.
Nova is there. I might as well do the whole shebang and put
Oh
Spencer in
yeah.
there too, and
True. Team Nemo.
be a sheep, be a
Jeez.
meta sheep.
Yeah, but that's a godlike team.
Yo, but I saw somebody use Cap point and then Deadpool second.
What?
Yeah, and then Spencer last. And they look
Oh, it's a weird
really,
team.
really cool.
Weird team.
But I would have to learn
Katana
Deadpool.
Rama?
Yeah,
Katana
Katana
Rama
Rama.
assist? Ooh,
And then the hook one. But I'm like, I
nice.
don't know. It doesn't have that much like. I need some projectiles up in this bitch to like really have
Yeah.
good neutral. I would have to be looking for like openings the entire time.
Snipes. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to snipe with a charging star. X Factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Stream. Hope you enjoyed this. This one is it's pretty long, 2 hours and 56 minutes, but it's actually shorter than the last one that we did, which was 3 hours and 1 minute. So, and dude, we're doing Civil War next,
Oh my god. This is a good movie. And
right?
Doctor Strange is a good movie.
And Doctor Strange.
Okay, yo, let's do one episode for Let's go ham on it. Because I also want to give Doctor Strange the respect. Because that is Stephen
Yeah, I feel
Strange.
like the farther we go into the saga,
Yeah,
the more time we need per movie because it
yeah,
gets so much more detailed and deeper in every
yeah.
scene. So,
There's yeah, more
um,
references.
and I think Civil War deserves its own episode.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh hell yeah. Oh
yeah,
my god.
yeah. There's too many things
Can't
to
wait.
talk about in that one.
Yep.
But stream, thank you for joining us. This is another episode of PBC. We might have to change the name later on, but for now, we are PBC.
Yep.
My name is Gerald, joined in by Ray, and
Yep.
we'll see you next time. Talk about Civil War. Peace.
Big.